I would so rather attend the meeting in person than at my house. Oh my God. Those Interim meetings from home during the. You know, probably my iPhone. Yeah.
You all set to go?
Recording in progress.
This meeting is convened at 6:30, thank you very much, p.m. On July 22nd, 2026. I am Kimo Griggs, Chair of the Norwich Select Board. I'm joined by Brendan Klassen, Vice Chair, Mary Layton, Matt Sweat, and Rob Gear. Town Manager Brendan Duffy is remote while running a Zoom session. Steve Schlaus has returned to take our notes. Thank you. And Beatrice of Junction Arts and Media is enabling our digital communications and recording. Thank you for attending this regular meeting of the Select Board, which has general supervision of the town of Norwich. We appreciate the valuable contributions of our town employees, elected and appointed officials, and the myriad volunteers that make our town what it is, and we endeavor to be respectful of everyone while keeping what is best for Norwich a star. If the chair recognizes you during our meeting, please try to keep your presentation to a maximum of 3 minutes. Vice Chair Klassen has been invited to remind you when your allotted time is up. Thank you very much. We will begin the public hearing for the Planning Commission. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held on July 22nd at 6:30 p.m. in person at Tracy Hall and via Zoom to hear the following. Second, public hearing to solicit testimony on the proposed interim bylaw to regulate short-term rental in the town of Norwich. Invite a representative of the Planning Commission to present such application or proposal.
Chair, I can make an opening statement, Kimo, if that would be helpful.
Please.
So as you recall,
State who you are first.
oh, sorry, Jan Losbrab, Chair of the Planning Commission. So we have had a public hearing with the Select Board, and to be clear, for an interim ordinance such as this, it is the Select Board that holds the single public hearing. So we had that a couple of months back, and we received public testimony that the Planning Commission deemed sufficient enough change to the proposed ordinance to require a second public hearing, which is what we're doing here. And just to summarize those changes, one was some fire safety language that was recommended by the fire chief that was incorporated into the document as recommended. We put a definition of owner-occupied into the ordinance itself to have that all in one place. And probably most importantly, there was a very good question about the pre-existing condition relating to non-owner occupied short-term rentals after the ordinance went into effect. Did they have any kind of pre-existing protection or grandfather at all? And we didn't make a clear enough answer at the time, and so it's an important enough issue that we wanted to clarify that. And the clear answer is those uses, that use, a non-owner occupied short-term rental, is currently not an allowed use in town. After passage of this ordinance, it will still not be an allowed use, and there is no grandfathering for an illegal use. So they would have no special privileges, and we would urge them to follow the new ordinance. So that's, and maybe Stephen can add to that. But those are the changes that we're taking testimony on tonight.
Thank you.
I could expand on that a little bit. What Jan's talking about are
Identify yourself, please.
Stephen William True. I'm the planning director for the town of Norwich. What Jan's talking about are pre-existing non-conforming uses, which technically are uses. If you can define something as a pre-existing use, it was legal under one set of regulations, and under a new set of regulations that status has changed. So there's some argument to be made that it was legal at one point, it should be legal in the future. These uses, short-term rentals, owner-occupied or not, were never legal. So we just wanted to clarify that there's no grandfather status for existing short-term rentals.
Thank you.
Could you just explain why they weren't legal?
Our regulations were silent on that use. I mean, it's a fairly modern use. We did have a definition for bed and breakfasts and inns, but sort of no conception of sort of the modern understanding of a short-term rental.
So because you didn't say you could do it, you're saying you can't do it.
That's the way our zoning regulations are set up to say in each district, here are the conditional and the allowed uses, and they're listed. And if they're not listed, they're not allowed or conditional. That's the structure of our zoning regulations.
Yeah. And in fact, they even go further to say that, I mean, there's a portion of the regulations that say if the use is not listed in the regulations, it's prohibited. So because we were silent, essentially there's no pre-existing sort of excuse.
It was one of the drivers of doing this interim ordinance was to say something about what is clearly, an active use, and to get the town to think about it and make a statement about it rather than be silent on something that was happening in town or certainly had pressure to happen in town in the future.
All right.
Is there any sort of statewide guidance or evidence that other communities are also dealing with a short-term rental issue?
Yeah, absolutely. The definition of short-term rental, it comes straight out of statute.
Okay.
And towns are dealing with this in a variety of different ways. Compared to any town located near a ski area that has any amount of condominiums, there's towns in Vermont that really deal with this issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think I want to say the town of Dorset or Dover, not sure.
Stowe.
Well, Stowe. I had a long conversation with the economic development person who was responsible for their short-term registry.
Yeah.
And they have a population, it's 2,100, and they had 800 short-term rentals in their registry. So this is a mild situation here. I don't think it's something that we need to be particularly worried about. But because we're silent, it's an awkward situation, and it's pretty weak to type of enforcement to say, well, what you're doing isn't in our regulation, and because it's not in our regulation, it's prohibited. So it's better to for health, safety. Just follow these regulations, which I took from other towns across the state.
Seems to be a proactive rather than a reactive stance.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
And the point is to make the interim The choice to make it interim, which means 2 years, was to be proactive, but not assume we knew everything for a long-term solution. We would put something on the books so that we were addressing it, and then we would have a requirement to look again in 2 years.
It used to be quite common here and other places, where an old farming family, they get older, might go and live with another family. An individual go live with them and pay them. How is that different? Somebody moving into a house.
The definition of a short-term rental is an occupancy of a transient nature that is less than 30 days and occurs in the property more than 14 days in a year. So if you're renting month to month, that's not regulated. If you want to rent out your house for 2 weeks, that's not regulated. But if on the 15th day, then you're within the definition of a short-term rental. So this doesn't affect someone's ability to rent a portion of their house, their entire house, to another party on a long-term basis, basically.
Well, they would also be owner occupied as well. I mean, if you're renting out a portion of your house to someone else, you'd be living there too, therefore it's owner occupied.
Yeah.
And to be clear, a non-owner occupied long-term rental is perfectly legal. So that is not addressed by this. And if you want to rent by the month or for 6 months or a year, that's completely, you don't have to be on the property to do that.
Are there any other questions from commission members? Any questions or comments from the public? Yeah.
Carol Loveland, 32 Butternut Road, Norwich. My question is,
I think you should probably come up. Can you speak? Sorry, Mr. True.
That's fine.
sorry, Carol Loveland, 32 Butternut Road, Norwich. I just have a quick question on the fees that are going to be provided for this. Where do they go? You know, are they going to a general fund? Are they for something? If someone is paying the $250, I'm assuming that's per year. Or is it just the application fee?
I don't know where the fees go.
Okay, well, neither do I.
General fund.
Yeah,
In the general fund?
yeah.
Okay, that's all.
So I know people who rent out their houses for like Dartmouth graduation.
Yeah,
And it sounds like your ordinance says that they can rent out their house for up to 14 days for Dartmouth graduation.
yes,
But on the 15th day, then it becomes a short-term rental, and they can't really do that
yes,
without violating.
yes, yes.
No, I think you can't do it even with.
And, you know, if someone is alleging that
Well,
there's someone out there on the 16th day.
well, let's be clear.
So,
We're talking non-owner occupied. So if they live in that property for 11 months out of the year and it's their residence of tax, then they are owner occupied. So if they want to rent it for a month or 29 days, so it's not a monthly rental, but it's still short term. But if they're owner occupied, they would technically have to register under this ordinance as a short-term rental provider, owner occupied. And then you can rent your property for 5.5 months a year if you want to, as long as that property is your tax record address. So you could rent for Dartmouth graduation for a month and live there the other 11 months. And you would be totally legal if you registered under this ordinance.
fewer than 30 days or more than 14 days in a calendar year.
Who registers compliance?
Enforces it, you mean?
Yeah, who enforces this?
Me, the zoning administrator.
You hear from neighbors and.
Yeah, if someone will, allege a zoning violation, I will investigate it, attempt to resolve it informally. If that doesn't succeed, there's a process. But ultimately, the enforcement, the assignment of, fees or penalties or injunction or any real action has to come from the select board. I can't, I have no ability to compel them to pay a fine, whereas this body could via, injunction or, I don't know. I've never had something go that far.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unless we're signed out from here.
Been signed out.
Somebody's been signed out here. Zoom workplace.
Yes,
John,
Beatrice.
can you see us?
Yeah, I can still see you and hear you.
Was it as Beatrice?
Beatrice, can you still see us?
Oh, there's a,
There's a thing saying signed out here on the screen. I'm on another device.
It seems to be working. I don't see any hands up on Zoom.
I think Beatrice has fixed it.
Might be Brendan.
Seems all right now. Okay. No further, yes, public comments, yes.
Cheryl Lindbergh, will this be something that gets, maybe you already addressed this and I missed it, Cheryl Lindbergh, resident. Will this be distributed out to the public in many, many ways so people become aware and know what they have to do?
I will first rely on the power of word of mouth.
It's a good question. I think it's worth discussing a little bit. Obviously, the minutes of this meeting, assuming the select board takes action, will publicize it. But I think it's worth maybe a quick conversation in the planning commission whether a little bit of publicity is a good idea.
Yep, good. Let's serve. Sit on the porch at the end. And,
There's another comment.
yeah, we have another public.
Priscilla Vincent. It sounds as though this hasn't been done, but needs to be done for the select board to devise some kind of fines, penalties, whatever, for people who infringe on the new ordinance.
That's established in our.
Oh, okay, great, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a prescribed sequence of things that happen once Stephen writes them a letter and says, we think you're breaking the rules.
So formal notice of violation process. And typically across the state, if anyone's curious, it's $100 a day for until the alleged violation is cured. How that's collected is not under my remit. That's up to you guys.
$100 a day as it's being rented?
No, for any zoning violation.
Okay.
Oh, uh-oh.
Chemo. It's okay, chemo.
Yes, Mary.
So let's say someone has a zoning violation of this short-term rental, how would it be cured? I mean, how do you, but they pay the fine and that would be.
Well, I mean, it really depends on what aspect of this they're violating.
I see.
Or
like the duration, say.
I would informally ask them to stop.
Okay, it's all done in steps.
Yeah, and the informal portion of it is important. And in my experience, I've found that these allegations are It's either bad blood between neighbors, which is quite common, or they just don't know.
I see.
I think there are some houses in town that that's their business model. And you're gonna have to go and tell them that their business model is not viable anymore.
Are you alleging a zoning violation?
Gotcha on that.
I'm just saying.
I think,
You already have work to do.
Yeah.
so there
guess.
are at least two different ways they can come into compliance. Well, three, they can just stop renting. They can only rent a portion of the year so that it can pass as owner occupied and then register and pay the fee and so forth, go within the zoning ordinance, or they could rent monthly or yearly, the same property, longer term rental, so it doesn't take away their ability to make money on the property, even if they don't live there at all. They would just have to switch to a monthly rental, at least.
Any further questions or comments from the public? Any further comments from the commission?
The select board?
All set?
I think we're set. I believe this is the final public hearing on this matter. Public hearing is now closed. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the records, so everybody knows, an interim bylaw becomes effective immediately once adopted. Make a motion to adopt it, as opposed to if we were to adopt a new set of land use regulations, then there's a sort of appeal period. So this is seen as an emergency action. Once you make the motion, we're good to go.
That's good.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The public hearing is now closed. Would anyone like to move to adopt the interim bylaw?
You have to enter select board meeting.
Well, we started the select board meeting. We entered the public hearing. We've exited the public hearing. We're still in a select board meeting. That's the first item.
I move to adopt the interim bylaw as submitted, which shall be limited in duration to 2 years and is effective immediately.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? No discussion? Let's vote. Clausen.
Aye.
Clayton.
Yes.
Gear.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
Briggs is a yes, it passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now,
And
thank you, Jan.
thank you,
Thank you.
Jan.
Mhm.
Thank you.
That was a lot of work.
Item number
Item number 2, agenda. Would we like to move the agenda? Yes, Mary.
I'd like to propose an amendment that we move the outdoor water supply item up after public comments, because we seem to have some members of the public here who might like that.
That's good.
And Matt, you had some additions to make. We can make those during the motion, I think. The funding.
Oh, no, that's the public works motion.
Yeah, so we'll do that during the motion, not as part of the agenda setting.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I think that's a nice move. Would anyone like to move the amended? We seem to have discussion still. Yes. Yes.
I was reminding you of amendment that I had asked.
Yes, so we need to add, or we may add, would you like to come up and tell us that again? Sorry, I have it here, but we had a letter requesting that something be added to the agenda that was not added to the agenda. And it was.
Take a checklist.
It
It
was
was
sent
to
in.
do with the expenditures being made after, before select board approval, which I brought up at your last meeting and was asked to provide a memo, and it just slipped your
Yeah.
radar. So
We've had a lot.
I really would like to have this resolved tonight. It's an important matter.
The
So,
credit card expense.
The credit card.
No, it's
timing.
paying an expenditure without select board approval, regardless of, but it happens with the
That's an
credit
example.
card. It's the example, yes.
so shall we add that as,
You had to put it near 11.
yeah, could you-
Steal a cookie.
so we'll make that 11, should we just call it 11A for simplicity, or B? Internal controls will be 11A. So internal control checklist is 11A, and the other one is 11B. All right, thank you. And the documentation we need is in the packet.
Right.
Okay, so amended to, the agenda will be amended to include moving where did it go?
Outdoor water supply.
Number 9.
Number 9.
9 up to number,
5. Below 4.
5, right?
yeah. So number 9 becomes 5, approved minutes becomes 6, committee appointments 7, DPW is 8, spending request is 9, and then we're back to 10. Employee conditions.
Sound good?
Sound good?
All right.
We need to move it, so.
Yes.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. Clausen.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
Hicks is a yes. Terrific.
Chair.
Chair's report. Sorry, I keep endeavoring to write this up and put it in the packet, but things, well, they happen. So I'm just going to read this here. Since our last regular meeting, I've spent time preparing for the special meeting of July 15th, during which we spent a considerable time in executive session, exiting to make a motion to satisfy Mr. Katuki's desire for the public documents he requested while dismissing costs associated with gathering those records. Discovered today that our efforts did not go far enough for Mr. Katuki, that the case against us continues. Our motion including having our counsel defend us, so that is where we are with that now. Also spent a great deal of time responding to a public records request made by former select board member Marcia Calloway, requesting all letters, memoranda, reports, texts, or other writings issued or sent by you to or received by you from any current or former town officials, appointees, residents, or anyone else on any device, public or private, for the period of January 20th through July 8th, 2026, with reference to the work of the Norwich Select Board, town business, personnel, or other related matters. I know Brendan Klassen has responded to a similar request. I do not know if anyone else has been asked. I spent 37 hours on the request to date. I have no idea why the request was made. I sent a polite email to my former colleague, Ms. Calloway, asking what she might be looking for as a way to narrow my focus. I received a terse reply. I'm looking for the records requested. So I've been working on that. Following our last regular meeting, during which the motion to authorize the town manager to solicit bids for reconnecting a hose bid near the main stair and comparative bid to install a new hose bib on the exterior of Tracy Hall on the south side of the entry failed, I communicated with Carol Loveland to apologize. I spoke with the Norwich Fire District in an attempt to find a way to assist those who attend the Triangle Garden, providing a ready source of water closer to the Triangle. We'll be discussing this topic again this evening. Finally, last night I attended a pizza and ice cream party for our state champion 12 and under All-Stars, the Thundercorns. Last Friday, we all drove to Dover, New Hampshire to participate in the 4-day New England Regional Championship introduction, where competing against teams from cities and regions roughly 20 to 40 times the size of Norwich. Our team fought hard, ought to have won 1 or 2 games, but in the end came home without moving on. An amazing experience for a very special group. The end of my chair's report.
I have the addition, because you had said at one point we could add our own things. So I took the elections training that was recommended by the town clerk. It was quite interesting, the technicalities and the, just keeping custody of the votes and what to do, how to handle election observers and so forth. So I'm very impressed always with how our town clerk runs the elections, but this just made it clear how much work and organization goes into it.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Anyone else? We're all sitting in chairs. No? All right, let's move on. Public comments for items not on the agenda. Any public comments? Lily?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to remind everybody that you can come and request absentee ballots up until noon on Monday, August 10th. So if you have not requested a ballot and you'd like one, feel free to come by the office or give me a call or give me an email and I'm happy to mail it out. And Mary, thank you for the kind words. Elections are rule-based and I find rule-based things a lot of fun. And on that note, I would like to toot my own horn and say that I just graduated from the New England Municipal Clerks Institute and Academy, which is a 3-summer-long course offered through the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. So I'm now a graduate of that and hope to serve the town well for the next several years.
Oh. We're very proud of you. Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes.
Thanks for that clap, Cheryl
Lindbergh Lister at this point. Just wanted to give an update again to the select board, my colleagues, on the process of getting the grand list lodged. We are wrapping up this week with our deliberations. Our grievance responses will need to be out no later than Friday. And we have a couple lingering opportunities to grieve for errors that we found that we corrected. So there's a little bit more coming along, but we anticipate being able to lodge by the 31st of July, the grand list. So I just wanted to let everybody know we're working long days and every day, and it's a lot of hard work and all, but we're almost there. So that's our update. Yes.
Because you're here, in correspondence, we had a very long kind of grievance email that was sent. I think it wound up in our packet because it was sent to the select board email address. However, I'm not sure that we have any jurisdiction to deal with it. Was this person, is it appropriate to ask, has this been dealt with?
Well, there was a response that was included in that lengthy section.
And that was it.
And that's all there is. We had a couple others with people that missed the deadline, and we gave them the exact same response. So there is a deadline and we can't change it. So,
Thank you.
and the US mail does complicate people's lives.
Yeah. Any other public comments? For items not on the agenda? All right, seeing none, we will move on to item 5, which is now the outdoor water supply to serve the Triangle Garden. We had an agenda item on this 2 weeks ago, following receipt of letters. I think due to the timing, people involved didn't come to the public meeting and would like to address this now, I believe.
Carol Loveland, I'm a volunteer for the garden and a member of the Norwich Women's Club. And a summary that I'll do this quickly, and I got it down to 3 minutes. May 20th, I sent a letter to the select board on the 27th, spoke at the select board meeting in May, and in June, June 10th meeting, I noticed no agenda item for the garden on that select board meeting. On the 24th, my understanding was the town manager reported that one faucet inoperable for approximately 30 years. This information was brought forth by me at the first initial request. And then looking ahead, Clausen wondered about a pipe under the road to the Triangle Garden as a discussion for the July 8th meeting. Griggs brought before the select board that no estimate had been, at the July 8th meeting, that no estimate had been provided since the request from the Women's Club 7 weeks before regarding either reinstalling non-functioning faucet or a new faucet. Motion to commission a plumber to explore potential getting an outdoor faucet or new hose bib did not pass. After that discussion, the town manager's solution of a hose reel led to a motion to purchase a hose reel for the women's club. This motion did pass. Another suggestion by Leighton was an expandable hose, but that is already in place once the water gets to the garden. The Norwich Women Club did not request the hose reel. We've had 3 hose reels over the past number of years. It's not a viable solution. The hoses that are currently in use are commercial grade and will stand up to the traffic that goes over them. They are flexible, strong, and the current hose situation is in working order. I saw and read no discussion of the water going under the road at that meeting. Neither Liz or I could attend that meeting due to family matters, which is why I wanted to be here today. On July 9th, the town manager had a dialogue with Jake and Liz, and later with me. The discussion centered around the need for heavy-duty commercial hoses, the reason why the hoses reel is not a solution. The volunteers have relied on the expertise of Jake and Liz Guest, who've been watering gardens for over 50 years. Town manager insisted on going to Home Depot to get the hose reel. We did not ask for a hose reel, and after speaking for more of the volunteers in the garden, I declined the purchase that the town manager had made. On the 13th of July, I received an email from the town manager regarding the Norwich Women Club paying for estimates for the faucet situation at the town hall. He had 2 assessments to set up that would cost $149 and $99, and he wanted to be sure that the Women's Club would pay for those items. I verified with the 25-26 president and vice president about paying these bills for the town. I also reached out to Dickinson and Plumbing and Heating for a free estimate. I gave the contract information to the town manager so that he could call the office and set up an appointment. I stated that 1 paid and 1 free estimate seemed reasonable. Per the town's manager's suggestion, I contacted the water district and talked with Mike. This may be another alternative, but further discussion could take place after the estimates for the town hall could be confirmed. My final comment is that regarding the hoses going over the walk in front of Tracy Hall and over the sidewalk, the volunteers brought this to the attention of the select board and the town manager as a tripping hazard for the public and a safety concern. A mat or cones, in my opinion, is a temporary solution, and the Norwich Women Club is seeking a way to bring water closer to the garden. An estimate is necessary step in making a fact-based decision. And I thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to say, just to reply to Carol, I really appreciated the work that you did with the water district, just to flesh out what that scenario might be.
I appreciate, I didn't know, I didn't realize that. And Mike sounded very open to further discussion.
Okay.
But my suggestion was we don't do anything until we get the estimates done to see that any other solution at this point is just a temporary thing until we can figure out a more permanent solution.
All right, thank you.
I hope.
So we're currently on a path that you approve of.
If we can get estimates to even talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we've had no clue.
It sounds
We've asked for a number of years.
great. If we can get that reset up, that seems like the ideal from everybody.
And if not, there seems to be another way that we could even work around that. But, we're hoping to do it from here, the easiest possible way.
Great.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Town manager.
Yeah, town manager.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Carol, and I just wanted to provide a quick update, which is that we were able to solicit 2 plumbers to come to Tracy Hall. I've not received back any formal quotes or bids for either reattaching the existing hose bib somehow or potentially putting in another new hose bib in another location. So I will share that information when it becomes available. And yeah, I guess that's all I can say for tonight. We're working on trying to solve a solution or find a solution.
Great, that's what we asked. Thanks.
Thank you. I also hold up the water district thinking, well, it's not going to happen here, so how else could something happen? And it did occur to me that we have a faucet over by the gazebo, and that a hose could be run along the fence, brought up there with a hose just to hop across the street. So I called the water district and had a very nice chat, and they were, as you found, I got halfway into my discussion and said, I just had the same conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But from a different point of view, because yours was from the gazebo source, right? And this one would have been connected with the water fountain, I think?
It's not the same line.
It is the same line.
Or similar enough, yeah.
And I did notice that when I was working in the garden, when you talked about trying to run a temporary hose over to the thing, that the kids run all over that ground. They're in every spot in that ground.
You tie it to the fence, so it would be securely attached to the fence.
Right. But you still have to take it over the ground to get it to the fence. Yeah.
Yeah, we think we could do it pretty quickly and easily, but without having people trip over it or go over a sidewalk. And you might have to bury it a little bit. But anyway.
More simple from this side.
Might be.
Might be. We'll have to see what the plumbers say. But
Yeah, anyway,
We're working on it.
we're considering options. And the water district's been great, and I think they'll continue to be support whatever.
Yes, we're not trying to push anything through. We're just trying to get water closer to it.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Brendan.
Mr. Chair, thank you. So I think we're probing a lot of the options, sort of at the front end of this, looking like low-cost, temporary types of options. And I'm wondering, what might the appetite be for something a bit more pushing the envelope?
Helicopters?
a fountain.
Water, a water drop.
Later.
Water drop.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what are you talking about, you know?
So one thing, you know, I think it's, I sent the memo to the select board. I didn't put it in the packet because the packet's already 200 pages long, so it didn't burden the public on that. But I think, given the legacy of the Women's Club in this town and their astonishing contributions to civic and social structure within the whole town for over a century, I'm wondering if it might be a little bit more beholden of us to think about more creative options. And I know we're talking about moving faucets and hose reels and pipes and changing the plumbing from one side of Route 5 to the other side of Route 5. They all seem to be draping hoses across the entrance to Tracy Hall, the town of Norwich sidewalk, which may be fire district, I don't know. Someone can enlighten me on that. And the roadway, the state road, Route 5 south, north, whatever it is. I'm worried about tripping hazards from people coming into Tracy Hall, tripping hazards of pedestrians on the sidewalk, and an articulated truck or a lorry or a car wrapping the hose in its axles and pulling someone off down the road. Personal liability, hazard. And I don't think we've even considered that. As rare as it may be, if we were to approve a temporary hose across the road, sidewalk, walkway situation, it seems to me such a piecemeal, half-hearted solution that we're not even considering more creative and innovative endpoints, let alone the temporary potential personal liability suits that we may be up against.
So we're all on board. Tell us what your solution is.
Commission a contractor with competitive bids to borrow a endoscope pipe path under Route 5 with state approval, of course. Put in a frost-proof hooded faucet containment structure on the island. So the only piece of hose you need is a piece of hose on the island to stretch from the faucet, which could be right near the sign, the Women's Club sign, which is beautiful, maybe a 10 or 12 foot hose that these lovely ladies who are in their 70s and some are in their 80s shouldn't be hauling 40 pounds of hose across roadways.
Keeps them fit.
I mean, at that point, you just attach a sprinkler on a timer and they don't have to water it.
Or Mary's fountain.
You're gonna do that. Why don't just go the extra yard and score the touchdown?
And it is one of the things that I asked Mike, if he might,
It was option 3 last time we met.
yeah, but I think it's worth asking the water district. If that's possible, and what would be involved. It's longer term.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a short-term solution and a long-term solution.
Exactly my point.
I agree.
Yeah, fire district, water department.
Oh.
Those are the names, not water district.
Oh,
Thanks, Matt.
they wrote it down, yeah, yes, sorry.
It would take a fireman to know about
So
water handling.
that's not something that we can do here tonight, but it is something that we could say could be done,
Keep it
yes.
warm.
Just when the plumbers are called and the possibility of making that faucet operational again, who knows what we'll find, because it's sort of an antique structure. So just wondering how that will play out. I'm hoping it's just really simple. But also, would it have any interaction with our renovation plans? Like, would it interfere with anything? I sort of think no, or you could rip it out and reroute it if you needed to. But it just seemed worth asking, since we'll be doing a comprehensive renovation pretty soon.
One hopes. Okay, yes.
And to go off on that, I thought of that same thing with renovation and you see where the front door is and the step underneath it and all that.
Yeah.
If that was another option to wait until something like that was happening, to get the line under at least that part of it.
Yeah.
At least away from public walking.
Yeah, sorry for the recording, that Karen Loveland speaking. If you could come up to it helps everything because the microphone is here.
Sue Pittiger, 1 Hazen Street. The Tracy Hall renovation has been talked about and it's being worked on, it might be years before we see that done. And all of those years, these women are getting older. You have all driven by that island and seen the women in the island. I drive by too. I do not do the gardening, okay? I just want, but I think the town owes the Norwich Women's Club the very best solution. I'm all in with Brendan's idea. Explore it. And if we wait for the renovation at Tracy Hall, and of course, any plumber who's going to Dickinson, who's going to give an estimate, he's going to have to face those issues. He has to tell us the truth. And he does, because we've done business with him before. I just think we really don't want to wait too much longer. We'll all be dead, okay?
As an architect, builder, person who orders these things, there's no reason to wait for.
Good, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
I'd like to take issue with the thought that people are appearing to be older.
They are older.
They are.
Not appearing, they are.
I didn't notice it. So, anyways, that's all.
It's on that hauling a hose.
Keeps everybody fit.
All right. So any further discussion, comments on this? We'll do our best to move it forward. All right. Moving to, let's see, that was number 5. Now we're at number 6 is approve the minutes. I would like to move to approve the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of the July 8th, 2026 regular select board meeting as presented.
I'll second.
Leighton, I made a typo. It says to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Yes.
It's cute.
Cheryl Lindbergh. Could be any of my hats. First of all, I just would like to comment on the fact that typically when there's a group of a board meeting, and there's an absent person, it's always good for the record to mention absent, Matt Sweat, for example, on the minutes. Down on the first page, as I was representing the Lister's office, there's an error in what I was talking about. I was not talking about a solar project. I was giving an example of something that was getting corrected probably, and think that that wasn't an accurate reflection of what was said. Under update on Katuki, the word council is repeatedly misspelled. I don't know if you catch these things.
Could I go back? So how would you correct the bottom of the first page? You said it's not correct, but what it should read?
I gave an update to the select board regarding the grievance schedule and as well details about the progress of the, well, maybe I said project, but I don't think I did. I would have probably said, I think she was referring back to project of solar project, but I would just eliminate regarding the grievance schedule and as well additional details about the completion of the app. I don't know. I'm sorry, my brain is slightly tired. Sorry, Timo, I didn't come up with that piece.
Okay,
I wasn't sure how welcoming my thoughts would be on changing minutes because there's been history to that, but I did want to give you my what I did catch. And on the next to the last page, under the AP warrants, it was at that meeting that I commented, and it's not written here, regarding my concern about the approval of payments after they've been made. And that's what initiated your request for me to do a memo. So under AP warrants, I stated, I made comments regarding an AP warrant approval of credit card payments from a month ago. That was roughly what I was referring to at that time. And does that leave you uncomfortable or able to do something? I didn't.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, please.
These minutes were taken by a, what apparently appears to be a one-off appointment individual who didn't work out. So there is perhaps to be a few quirks and omissions and errors to be expected. I think the town manager moved really quick to find a replacement for Jenny Coleman, and this one didn't work out, clearly. We have a new person over there who's giving me the thumbs up. So there's a few errors. We do not feel uncomfortable with you pointing out the errors.
And this becomes a permanent record of the town, of your meeting.
Absolutely.
And you want it to reflect as best it can the sense of the meeting, I believe. So keeping minutes with errors and looking like you didn't notice some of these things or didn't correct them would be.
Would you be willing to forward a corrections?
Yes.
List of your suggested corrections?
Yes, I would be.
Okay. I'm not going to write them all down.
No, I can understand.
Thank you.
But
I think that would be fair to get Cheryl's proposed corrections in writing, but I don't think we should table this item, is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
For the next.
You're going to rescind your.
No, I wasn't going to pull it. Well, I could, because now we're talking about amending. But we should either table or probably rescind, but then table the motion action itself to another meeting.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So let's collect all the edits. It looks like Linda
Right.
has some as well.
Right, so I will rescind. You want to do that now? I'll rescind. Well, actually, it's Matt who has
Yeah,
to
I will
rescind
rescind
the motion, and I will also.
All right, terrific. So there's no motion on the table. Lily?
Hi there. I'm really sorry. I don't have my highlighted copy of the minutes with me because I'm at home now. But I believe that the education tax rate was misquoted in the minutes, but Cheryl can probably speak to that better than I can. And I know that Chemo, your last name was spelled as Briggs at least once, so you may want to table these until next time and have a good thorough look at them.
Yeah, I kind of gave up, honestly.
This is a tribute to Jenny's, like, meticulous notes.
Thank you. I couldn't have put it better.
Appreciate it.
Another question about it. Do we need to vote to table this?
No, I
Possibly?
think if you table it, it's tabled.
Just an agreement?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you table it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
shall we forward you our suggested corrections one by one?
or forward them to the town manager, probably.
Okay.
He's in charge of the note taking.
It may turn into a project, that's our other thing, is to make sure everything that's needed is accurate, but not have them be a transcript. So we'll have a little work to do on it, I think.
If you'd like to forward them to me, I can collate them.
There you go.
Can we send out another draft?
Yes,
Second draft?
yes, it'll go in another packet.
Right.
And then we'll approve it. Yes, Brandon.
So I guess in hearing the concern about revising the minutes, I do agree it makes sense to get corrections approved by the select board. So however that could occur, if Chemo, you would like to collate other people's concerns, if there are others, and then send those to the town manager's office. We have staff there that corrects minutes. I guess it would come back to this board as a revised draft of the minutes, and that could be approved potentially at the next meeting. So that might be the most efficient way to do this.
That's what I'd suggest. Okay, that's what we'll do. Thank you. We're all in agreement. We'll move on now. Let's see without approved minutes, but I think we'll be okay. Let's move on to committee appointments. Even long. You applied, made your application. And I think before we make a motion to, let you hear from you.
What do you want to hear?
So this isn't a new position, is it?
There is a deputy warden, there's a tree warden and a deputy warden.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm Steve Long.
Sorry, you say your last name again?
Long, Long.
yeah.
So, yes, there is a tree warden and a deputy. And, but there's a lot of work to do. We've been working on all the emerald ash borer stuff. And I've been working with Chris and Doug for the last year and a half on this stuff. And Chris asked me if I would be willing to do this. And so I said, sure, I would do that.
What do you do as a tree warden or as a deputy tree warden?
That's a great question. As things come up, as questions come up about trees in the town right away or on town property, we'd be called on to talk about the health of a tree, should it be taken down, that sort of thing.
It's like investigation, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's sort of an extension in a way of what we've been doing on the emerald ash borer work. There's other trees around that we've been taking inventory of, other trees that are not ash trees that are looking to be hazardous. And so we've made a short list of those that we think that they should be taken care of. So.
Do members of the public ever call on you for advice or seek you out to answer questions about their own? Or is that?
I believe that has happened. Because I'm not in that role, I don't know the particulars, but I think it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when Matt Hall was tree warden, people would call him, he'd come out, check out the trees, and then depending on whether it's worthy of taking down, I think he'd pass them along to Chris
Yeah,
at Public Works.
right.
Right? Thanks. Do you find that you have a literature degree?
Yes,
Helpful in the tree business?
terrifically so.
Great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking more at the municipal experience of selectman, justice of the peace, and member of the planning commission.
I think they're looking for some JPs.
One step at a time.
Are we still on?
All right.
Deputy tree warden's quite a sort of humble position here, considering your experience.
Oh, you don't know how much glory is involved in.
Well,
Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
branching out. All right, thanks for coming. Would anyone like to move to appoint?
I move to appoint Stephen Long to the position of deputy tree warden for a one-year term.
Second.
All right. My belief is that this is a one-year term. I couldn't find it anywhere. I checked with the tree warden. He thought it's usually a one-year term, but I didn't see it in the town documents the way the other committee.
We could probably ask Miranda,
You could have, but it was.
but it's, I mean, 1 year is a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's vote. Preston.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Gear.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
Craig says a yes. Terrific. Let's move on to DPW recommendation for Turnpike Road Culvert Replacement and Stormwater Ditching Project. I don't know about the rest of it. It seemed like a very clear.
Very good presentation in the packet.
Yeah.
Very organized, the map, cost, the bidding.
Yeah, I did have one question, maybe for Chris or the town manager. The Thompson Site Services, we'll use them for other things?
I'm going to let Chris, if he's on, answer that. I am not aware if we have used them for a prior project.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, Chris responds, no, we have not.
Okay. We haven't, we didn't see the bid, so I don't know where they're from or,
It was in the packet.
was it the bids?
Yeah.
Just the totals.
Just
The totals,
just the
not
total.
not the, yeah.
Yeah, so don't have a lot of information about Thompson Site Service, but you're confident they're up to the task.
That is the recommendation being made.
Mhm. All right.
I had two questions. For Chris, is the FY '26 grants in aid grant, is that a state grant or a federal grant?
State.
It's great that we're making use of all those grants because it cuts down the cost of this dramatically for us, and I thank you for that. The other question I had is this part of our, you've made reference to sort of a larger culvert replacement plan to get them all up to the current codes for diameters. Is this part of that plan?
Right. Yep. It is. Yes. It's our opportunity to get these culverts up. Try to get a lot of these undersized 12, 15-inch, culverts that are pretty spread out throughout the town. So, yeah. And especially if we're going to do any paving in the near future, these culverts need to be upgraded, prior to any of that stuff.
Thank you for the map. It's very helpful
Yep.
to see where these things are.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So I have a question on the stipulated request for not to exceed 50,000. So this seems to build in, if we're looking at the Thompson for 47.8, it's like a 2,200 overage, which is about, if my math works, it's about 5%. So I remember with the Moor Lane Bridge, we went slightly over, again, not by very much, but is there a policy within the town or DPW to build in a fixed overage, maybe project dependent, or is it just like a little bit of a margin based on previous experience? I'm just sort of wondering, what's the basis for this adding the extra? Because with Moor Lane, there was a petition back to the select board to go a little bit higher. Right, so is this going to top out at 50, or are we going to maybe see a request to go up to 53?
So typically on construction projects, you have contingencies, right? So it's very difficult to say just because somebody comes in with a bid at a certain price that you're going to get it done for exactly that price. There are unknowns that come up. So I try to add a factor of a contingency relative to the size of the project that we might expect for an unknown or a situation that may come up. And that just avoids having to kind of hold the project up to try to get an approval later on. Typically, a project of this magnitude, which is not a large project from a DPW standard, that probably will be sufficient to deal with any potential unknowns that come up.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Okay, thanks, Chris. That's very helpful.
I'd like to move this.
Yeah, so why don't you let me move it, because I'm going to add something to it. Let's see, I move to accept the bid from Thompson Site Services and approve the expenditure of up to $50,000 from the Culvert Fund number 54 to carry out the work required to replace 5 undersized culverts and improve stormwater ditching on Turnpike Road as described in the July 15th, 2026 bid results document submitted by Chris Coughlin, Director of Department of Public Works.
What was the culvert fund number?
Number 54.
Yeah.
Or at least that's right, Chris, right? That's what was written here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the amount and the fund was in the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Moved by Sweat, seconded by Layton. Discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. Clausen.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Keir.
Yes.
Sweat and Griggs is a yes. Terrific. Pending request, Main Street Flag Fund. Would anyone like to move this?
I move to approve the expenditure of up to $180 for the purchase of 2 flags with poles. The amount to be withdrawn from Fund number 37, Main Street Flags Fund.
Second.
All right. Discussion. Do we know where these flags are going? Just
On Main Street, I think, just to
replace, this is like a replacement scheme?
I think so.
These are just replacing flags that are worn out, or
Correct.
are we expanding inexorably along Turnpike every year?
Only till we, unless we get a fountain, can we do that?
Well,
The fountain.
all right, great. Let's vote. Clausen.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Keir.
Yes.
Sweat. Briggs, yes. Terrific. More flags. The next one is employee conditions at the transfer station. We had a letter, we were promised a letter, we got a letter. And we got a response to the letter.
From the town manager?
Yes.
Part of this
Yeah.
report, I think.
So should we, I put it on here because if it's in this town report, it's not warned in the same way. So if this is something we wanted to discuss, I wanted to make sure that it was
Good idea.
an agenda item.
Yeah.
So we could discuss it now or agree that this agenda item might be discussed following the town manager's report. Which would be a little weird, but yes.
I'd like to discuss it now, where it is on the agenda. And I'd like, the town manager kind of gave a general response. I'd like to know if there are specifics that came out of what might be an improvement. So.
Well, I'm
Did you
happy
want-
to give a quick response there if you'd like.
Thanks.
So yeah, we did investigate the complaint, and Chris is on here as well. He might want to add to this, but I think what we determined was during the Wednesday, I believe it was July 8th, following the holiday weekend, the transfer station was closed during the holiday weekend because it fell on July 4th. So the complaint about, I guess, actively smelly, rotten food scraps that were being placed into the food bins probably in that case relates to people having to store their food scraps at home for the extra few days. The normal protocol is to have Casella Waste Systems come through usually within a day or 2 days of the transfer station being open, which is on a Saturday and a Wednesday. And they remove the used food bins and take that off for recycling, and then replace those with the clean bins. Also, when those bins are filled to capacity, the attendant is normally going to bind those, basically to clip them so that there no more food can be added in, and they're pulled away and fresh bins are replacing those. So that's the normal protocol, and our suspicion is again due to the kind of unusual circumstance of having a closed transfer station. The food waste that was being brought there was probably already fairly deteriorated as far as decomposition. There's not really an easy way to change the layout of that situation. It's basically set up in a certain way so people can come through and drop off their recycling and their waste in a fairly consistent manner. The other thing just to note is we did talk with the lead attendant did talk to the other folks that are working there at the station, and none of those employees were complaining or felt like there was an undue burden by working around the food scraps that we're aware of. They certainly didn't report it when asked. And then the other complaint, I think, was access to plumbing facilities and hot water if they wanted to go in and wash hands. That is available at the DPW facility. It's a short walk across the parking area there, but there is access at all times for an employee to go in and use the facilities there with a key. So that, I think, obviously there is no running water at the actual transfer station buildings, but it is in close proximity. And then again, just to kind of ensure that we had clean, sanitary conditions, we actually were able to find a portable water hand washing station that you fill up with water. It's kind of a one-off where water will come out. You can wash your hands. It's not hot water. It's probably temperate water, but we thought that might be a good solution to add a little extra kind of quick wash your hands off and not have to just rely on hand sanitizer, which is also available there. And the other piece of running water is they are bottled water is always available there for the transfer station workers should they need some. So I guess that's all I had to report back. I think we did take the complaint seriously. We looked into it, and I think conditions are as good as they can be in again, the environment of a transfer station. Chris, do you want to add anything to that?
I think you covered most of it, Brennan. Like I said, we discussed it with the folks, and everybody seemed to feel comfortable with the work that they do, and that facility has basically been running the way it's been running prior to my, coming on the scene. The only difference was the food collection, which is mandated by the state. If you operate a, facility, you have to collect food waste. You have to have given the opportunity to collect food waste. And Casella picks up the food waste, and this is the containers that they use are the process that they use to collect the food scraps. And so the folks understand that when the containers get filled up, they clip them, they close them, and they have another container. We have extra containers that we bring around the corner, and people use those. So.
Okay. Interesting. I still call it a dump because it was a dump when I was a kid, but I understand that it's not the dump anymore. And I guess I have to say that when the complaint was registered, I felt like it resonated with me. It's not a pleasant place to go, where you throw the compost. Whether it's been a long weekend and people have left their stuff out, or, like me, I might have left my stuff out because I missed it last weekend, darn. It's a pretty gross area to me. And when the bins come out, they don't go away. They come out, maybe they get clipped, maybe they don't. My experience is they just keep getting filled and filled until people open them up and look around, and is there any space? Is there any space? And then you stuff it in, and they don't go anywhere. They just bring more around. So the sort of big, full, stinky things just sit there, and they're more and more and more. So that was an experience I've had many times, and I sort of ignored it. But it's smelly and not neat. So I've always wondered if there isn't a better way. But if you think it's safe, I don't know. Well, what's your experience, Mary?
Well, it is, there's no way it can be without smells, but I do think it's organized. I have observed the clips, and I think it's as managed about as well as it can be. And I believe we had, wasn't it during COVID, we had some event at the dump. We had to do some town function, like an election or something. And I remember even just standing by the garbage dumpster, which is where I had to stand to help. It's smelly. It's like if you work on a farm, that's smelly. At least one of the employees has worked on a farm. Which I've done that. So to me, it's not so unusual. And I don't know how you would control it. I mean, I'm picturing maybe a refrigerated semi car, with fans, maybe air purifier. Like, how are you going to actually deal with that? I don't know.
I don't know how other people deal with it.
But I think for what it is, I think it is managed well. Missing that Saturday of the July 4th, I think, was, pushing the envelope on managing it, because it couldn't be picked up then, right? And also it's so hot. So it was probably the worst possible conditions for the smells and the other noxious side of it.
So what if there were a way to do it better? Who would be thinking of that? I'm sorry, Matt.
I think I probably had the same inclination as you, because I talked to, I heard this complaint, so I went off to the dump and talked to Jed like I always do, and Paul, and I was like, what do you think of this? And they were pretty surprised to hear about it, honestly. I know that Jed had talked to Chris, but he didn't quite understand that she was asking him because she was going to lodge a complaint. So we tried to brainstorm different ways. I think that what they told me was similar to what they told the town manager and the DPW director, which was kind of like, they're okay with the situation. They have the foot pump, hand sink, which is great. They've got first aid and eye rinse, and they even have a blanket for, lithium ion battery fires. So like there's a bunch of safety, OSHA things that are being covered up there. And then, how to deal with the collection of the compost in a way that doesn't impede sort of flow of everybody. And we were having trouble figuring out a better way to do it without building new stuff, and it still would mess up the flow of things. But maybe, I certainly left it with them was, if you have any problems, please, we want to fix, let us know. If you have any suggestions for fixing it or changing things, please let us know. We're always open and supportive of whatever you need. Maybe one way to deal with smell would be that once a container gets filled, it gets clipped and rolled somewhere else that nobody else is. So that then you only have one live container, nearby, and it might be less smelly. I was glad to hear that the compost, and I think that this was said, but the compost is picked up after, like, every day afterwards. So the compost never sits there for like 2 dump days in a row. And I think that that's important too, because that's kind of the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Every day.
So like the Wednesday stuff does not sit till Saturday. It gets picked up before Saturday, and then the Saturday stuff gets picked up before Wednesday. It might not be the day after, but it doesn't sit around.
So maybe the 4th of July it was sitting around.
I don't know what happened the 4th of July. It could have been the 4th of July was just very hot.
Yeah.
And the dump was closed that day, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but I think that the point is that the setup already is fairly good.
Okay.
So how does a transfer station get designed and maintained and upgraded, and who thinks of, I have no idea. Is there a committee that oversees it? Or
It seems organic to me, and everything that pops up, I'm always like, oh, it's a great idea. I remember when there wasn't even any shelter over where you threw the stuff in the trash.
So where did the shelter come from?
I would say that was during Andy Hodgson's Public Works Director,
I think Neil,
time.
Okay.
Neil put that in place, I think, right?
So any kind of improvements or rethinking would come from DPW through town manager, approved by us and them, or, I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if, since we have been talking about a plan to redo it, if the like architect's input would be helpful.
You know a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if she's available, but yeah.
So who's been talking about redoing it? You mean tonight?
Because, in our, the town manager's evaluation,
Yeah,
we
okay.
have one of the goals is to start thinking about how to reorganize DPW. So it
Okay,
is in the packet for tonight.
okay. Let's take a public comment.
Priscilla Vincent, I believe there's still a solid waste committee that was set up to deal with specifically with stuff at the dump and then report back to either Chris Kaufman or the select board. And Chris Clement's been waiting a long time to talk.
Okay, thank you. Chris, we weren't ignoring you, we were just discussing among ourselves.
No, that's all right. Just stuck my hand up. All right, Kimo. Hello, Chris Clement, Norwich. The first thing I want to say is when I wrote that, I thought, I'd have to go back and read it. I thought I made it pretty clear that I had not discussed this with Roger, Paul, or Jed. And the reason why I didn't do that is under our former Rod Francis, there was a really tough time with those guys, and they were given a gag order. It became a huge hullabaloo, and I didn't want to get these guys involved. I don't think we need to get these guys involved. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. We all know that it's disgusting up there. So I did not see the need. The woman who was up there dumping her food off at the time, when she opened the lid, the two of us literally almost threw up together. And then there were bees around there. Now, Jed is within 3 feet of those bins. I didn't have to say, good God, Jed, back away. If he got stung by a bee, again, that's a responsibility of the town. So again, I hope that neither Chris nor Mr. Duffy went up there with this, or Matt. I said to you guys, I did not talk to them. This was about me. Those guys are very touchy about saying anything. And so again, it would have been nice to not get them involved. It would have been nice for us all to say, wow, we should do better for our employees without having them to ask. And I said to you, the one thing I recommended was that the food bin, because again, the smell, Jed has to stand next to that all day. So on hot humid days, it's pretty disgusting. So what I had suggested to you guys, even though we couldn't get into discussion, is to move the bins to the other lane so that the food bin would run parallel with a dumpster. So in fact, people who only want to do food waste can go over there. If somebody comes in with garbage and food waste, they dump their garbage, move a little bit farther, and then run it over to the other side. I don't know. I see that there is room. I would be very concerned with the fact that Casella did not pick it up on the 4th. All the bins were chocked full, and I was watching people go from one bin to the next. So, I mean, that was unfortunate, but I don't really want to get I wasn't trying to get those 3 involved. They are so incredibly nice. They have been beaten up by this town in the past, and I did not want to get them involved. I thought that you guys could actually come up with a solution without them requesting anything. It was because of me bringing up this last time that they got a key to DPW. They never had access to the bathrooms until I talked to VOSHA, and VOSHA said, yes, they have to have, and both Chris and the town manager were like, yeah, whatever, we're having a problem with that, whatever. So they gave them a key. So now they have access, which is great. They used to have a hose. I don't know what happened to the hose. I'm really glad to hear, our town manager didn't say when he just put that water, the rinsing thing, which is great. But I think the proximity to those food bins are too close. He's already having to deal with, the garbage right there, but the food bins attract a lot of bees in particular, but maggots and everything else. And he's, I was just thinking the town would do something nice for them. They did not say anything. So that's it. My suggestion was to move the bins. We all know that after the shack where they are in doing the office stuff, you drive by, nobody's ever parked there, and there's a nice grassy spot. Nobody has to build anything except maybe some 2x4s from keeping the dump from having them blow over, which is a pretty simple solution for the town to just get somebody to construct a simple bin so they don't tip over and put them on the other side. So that Jed is not subjected to. I think it's really unfair for you guys to say, oh, sure, it's okay. Why don't you spend a whole day up there with them and then find out for yourself?
Okay, good thoughts.
But I like the idea that if you have somebody that's redesigning DPW, I think it's great. I think Roger does really well. Roger seems really comfortable. Paul does great, kind of overseeing everything. Jed has to stand there for so long. I just think it's unfair for him to have to deal with that. That's it. Nobody said anything to me.
Okay. All right.
So
Thank you.
Can I just follow up one very quickly? Your suggestions were good intention, Chris, and when I was talking to Jed, it was only because in order to come up with any solution, like there had to be some dialogue with the people that were working there. And the discussion was really, more of just brainstorming and talking about things that, like, it was all good natured. And
yeah, no, I'm sure it was.
I think they appreciated that you cared about them. And I also understand that, we should also, take action if action is needed, even if they don't say that they need it.
That's my point, is that those guys, from after their experience the last time under Rod and even some now, that after that experience, they are very reluctant to say anything. They like their jobs, believe it or not. They're the nicest guys. And I just think they deserve better. We have employees that complain in Tracy Hall over the most ridiculous thing, and these guys never complain. So I just thought it would be nice for the town to think about moving those food bins away from that area for a couple of reasons. I think it would make flow easier and it would not expose those guys to that as much. So,
All right.
and
Well,
it's not, and by
I'm-
the way, it's Timo, just want to make one point. So food scraps are not mandated for people by the state. It may be mandated that the state, that the towns have to have the food bins there. But the whole food mandate thing went away actually several years ago. They knew it was not working. So, but again, I'm sure a town has to have food bins to offer that, but food scrap disposal is no longer mandated. So if it's no longer mandated, then the town has an opportunity to not expose their employees to that and try and find an alternate location for them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, food for thought.
You've been holding that in for a really long time, haven't you? That must have been hard to not just put that out there like 5 minutes ago.
I think it's wonderful that a member of the public advocates for town employees, number one. And number two, a member of the public informs me, who didn't know that the food scrap mandate had been changed at the state level. So I was informed at two levels tonight. So thank you, Chris.
All right, any other comments? Discussions? Okay, let's move on to internal control checklist requirement. I'm going to invite the treasurer up to the table. I thought this is something we dealt with a month ago. So we got the documents, we read the documents, we looked at the documents, and I said out loud that they had been received by the select board. So I'm not sure what else we're required to do, but you seem insistent on are doing something. So
Okay.
by all means, educate me in 3 minutes or less.
3 minutes? Okay, well, when statutes are involved, I don't know if 3-minute limits should be applied as too strictly. Again, this is an annual, the statutes are in, it's in it, okay? I don't need to repeat. I'm supposed to do it. Have I done it every year? No, when there was a townwide reappraisal, it slipped past me. I've done it in prior years. It's a good document for conversation. It's an education sometimes to select board members to look at something like this and see the things that are important for internal controls. And in my opinion, use this to supplement what we already have, right? So maybe we can learn from this and implement additional internal controls. Obviously, I do not function in a town that is a select board managed town. I function in a town now that's a town manager form of government. So much of what I do is limited. So I have continued to complete this. It does give the select board the option to ask a different officer or employee of the town to complete this questionnaire instead and have it again be reviewed and accepted by the select board. With that said, I have done my best to complete the document with some of my limited knowledge as treasurer, because I don't do the things that are completely listed here on this document. I certainly can if I was asked, but I am never asked. So I have to tell you that some things I don't know the answer to, some things I do feel I know the answer to, and others I would love to have a quick conversation with you about a couple of these items. And as it relates to, you having attended financial trainings, for example, I don't know what you've all done. Maybe you have, and I don't know. So again, I don't have time to go around and ask each of you, but it's again something that this document is looking to see that would be a yes. So That's important. And reconciliations of the bank accounts, I was given those for a while to review, have access to them. I'd like to see that implemented again. And with that, I could then review the balance sheet and sort of break out the investments that are going on for the town, like I used to do through the investment policy. That fell to the wayside years ago with all the changes in the finance office.
But it's checked off as yes here.
Bank statement reconciliation. Does someone other than the treasurer review bank reconciliations?
Well, okay, do you reconcile bank and ledger balances monthly? Yes.
I do know that that was being done in the finance office. I'm down about 9 lines. It says, does someone other than the treasurer review bank reconciliations? I don't know that. There were times where Roberta would give them to me. I think Barry may have given me a few to look at, but it is not a consistent process. And I'm guessing that if the treasurer is preparing them, like maybe the elected auditors would do a review of bank reconciliations, or somebody else to follow up on outstanding checks, making sure that it does reconcile properly. But the two that come to my mind that I wanted to discuss, does the town have written policies and procedures for financial operations? And does each town official have copies of these policies and procedures? And I feel there's a weakness there. I don't know the answer to those questions, but I feel strongly that they should be able to be answered with a yes. And that's a topic that I'd like to see be a goal. If that needs, as a goal, that's a great goal to have, is to get those written policies and procedures done and have copies available. And there's 2 reasons I'm going to bring up for that. The passwords for our NEMRIC software utilized by the clerk, the finance office, the listers, have had the same password for access since 2019 or so.
I don't know if you even want to say that.
Well, I am going to say it because these are tough
Yeah,
conversations sometimes,
no,
right?
Yeah.
And I know who set up the password, and I know she's long gone, and I know there's a good handful of 6 or 7 other people that have had access and are long gone.
So could I interrupt just for a minute? So is there one password for all the users of the account, or could it be multiple passwords?
So I'll clarify that. That's a good question. So to get to the cloud, there's a password. There's a login and a password. Everybody uses that. Then you go to the modules that we use. And if you don't have access, by being given a password for that, you don't get access to it. But if you don't clean out passwords for prior users, prior employees, they'll sit there and you can go into them. So one of the things that I want to say is that with Barry's departure, it was very important to go into the general ledger module, which is all I have access to, and update the passwords to eliminate Barry from those sections of the listers grand list module. Does that happen in finance for payables, payroll, general ledger, taxes receivable, cash receipts modules? I don't know. Maybe there is a procedure. I just don't know that. And that
I don't think that's listed in any of our master financial policies. I don't think there's anything about the cloud or passwords or, if they could be randomly generated and changed pretty constantly, for instance.
Well, NEMRIC encourages all of its users to do this, is to
annually or something,
to change your password or to maintain the passwords properly in each module. And the comment was, if you see a password and you're the supervisor and you control the passwords and you see some that you don't know who they are for, delete them and you'll find out really quickly, right? Now, you can always reestablish somebody's password with a new one or something, but if you've got 7 passwords in there and 3 people, you've got some old ones, get rid of them. And that's a cleansing that would be good to do when an employee departs. And that should be, and perhaps it is, in a procedure I don't know, I don't have access. It would be good to see that. But the other part that really bothered me recently was I repeatedly asked for when there would be the transition in the finance office and the finance director, Barry leaving and the new, person taking over, and I could not get an answer. So unbeknownst to me, Monday at midday, when I met the new person in the finance office, I found out that Barry had finished on Friday.
Oh.
I should have been immediately be told that so I can eliminate her from our online banking.
Yeah.
So for the entire weekend and half of the day Monday, Barry still had access to town bank accounts. And typically I should be notified. And when I am, I go in that quickly and delete somebody from using the town's banking. So those are things that I would like to see get brought into procedures and expectations from others to communicate. The treasurer is the most involved with the finance office in ways that you may not realize. But I'm the one that provides access to the banking so they can upload payroll and you can pay everybody, right? So these are critical things. And when somebody's terminated, for good or for bad reasons, I need to know. I need to be told so I can eliminate their access to our town bank accounts. So that's the couple of things.
Responsibility, is it?
Town manager.
Is it our responsibility to let you know?
No, I would think the town manager should let me know so that I can do the piece that I need to do.
And what about if a clerk changes, you get a new assistant clerk?
Be
the clerk's job. So whoever is overseeing a department or an elected official.
So the elected officials, if she still uses a module, I'm not even sure Lily does, you may, for.
I'm just trying to establish what we can do.
We can get some policies and procedures in place and and distribute them so that we all know expectations are to do these things.
And are you offering to write these policies and procedures, these draft policies and procedures, or are you asking us to do it or to find them somewhere?
So it would be my thinking that since it's the finance area, it is within that department and within the town manager's responsibility to get these, done. And as I said, maybe some of these exist and I am not aware, but it's certainly important to have communications for these reasons that I'm bringing up.
Okay. Matt, you wanted to say-
Yeah, I'd like to, yes, that is a good thing. In some conversations that I had with Barry over the past couple of years about what her sort of goals are for the department, and because how she kind of came in and was, came into a department in fair disarray.
Yes.
So first was, first was like stabilize the wound. Second is like, and then work up from there to make the patient better. And I think that she was doing a lot of that. And in conversations that I had with her, that was when she wasn't doing active stuff that was necessary during the day, she was building those, procedures. I don't know the level of granularity that she built them out with, but I do know that was like a focus of hers, and I can't speak any more to that. I have seen from a department side of that, things have gotten, certain procedures are getting better and reports are getting sent out, and that's also awesome. But I think that she was also writing, she wanted to leave the department much better than she received it. And part of that was that she already identified was to create sort of a manual of procedures. And I don't know, like that's a big task. And I'm not sure how far she got there.
Yeah.
But I agree that it should continue.
Chemo?
Yes.
Could I follow up on that?
You may.
I think that's a good point, Matt. I'd like to hear from the town manager if he's aware of this. Manual procedures that Matt has referenced.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that. I mean, Barry spent a lot of time, as you said, when not dealing with kind of the day-to-day operations, trying to think big picture of how to establish procedures within the office so that someone can come in and understand how things should be done. I think she was effective in that in many ways. I don't think it's completed. I think it's kind of a work in progress right now, like a lot of things. But yeah, it's certainly, I think, everyone's goal to have, established procedures that employees follow, consistently, and that leads to consistent outcomes. I had a couple questions related to the statute here, if I'm able to ask those at some point.
Are you,
I don't run the meeting, you're running,
have you completed what you?
well, I've given, I've
Okay, yes.
I've given what I
Let's
need.
do it. Let's go.
So this has been interesting. I did research a little bit on the Vermont statutes that we're talking about here. So this is Title 24, 1571, Accounts and Reports. And I tried to go back and search my memory in my 3 years here of this is the 4th, July 30th. I don't recall us ever having done a checklist of this sort. So I guess I'm asking Cheryl, who is the treasurer, who by title is on the statute, although in Norwich, this is really a finance director role in many ways, except for section C. Has this checklist that was created by the Auditor of Accounts for Vermont been done by you in the last 3 years?
No.
Okay, so I didn't think so. I had looked through records.
It's been too much in disarray, as Matt related to things. So trying to understand the financials of the town and answer these questions would be have been very difficult, but I have done them in the past.
And I will vouch for that, because I know I've seen that form probably back when we were putting the master financial policies together. I think it's when I saw that, if not later.
Okay.
So it's not unfamiliar.
That's fine.
It hasn't changed much either.
Oh, sorry, we're talking at the same time. Sorry, Mary.
I'm done.
Okay, well, I think this is a good forum. I think this is certainly something that we should establish on an annual basis now that we've reestablished it. I think, Cheryl, as I said, in many cases, your role as the treasurer in Norwich is different than maybe a statutory treasurer in another town without a finance department, where the treasurer has more day-to-day dealings with the finances. In Norwich, we have a finance director and staff under the town manager that works on that. The one section here that I did see was C, where the town treasurer shall file quarterly reports with the legislative body regarding his or her actions set forth in subsections A and B, and then B being, I think, definitely a treasurer duty in Norwich, which is monies received by the town treasurer on behalf of the town may be invested and reinvested by the treasurer with the approval of the legislative body. And I looked through, again, searched my memory and tried to find records of us ever receiving like a quarterly report on the investment piece. Has that ever occurred?
Used to all the time until the disarray in the finance office began, and I couldn't get balance sheets. I couldn't get information from the finance office to do these, and I have been waiting patiently to accomplish that. And I made the statement earlier that these have not been getting done, and I could start doing them again. But I need the collaboration of knowing how much funds I can invest, and I need that, from the finance director and you, if there's any conversations, we've had those. But getting that into a report that I used to do every quarter, all the time, it just fell apart. And that has not been reestablished, just like other things have not. So I would love to get started again on those. But it hasn't.
Well, could I suggest that we work on a checklist of things that could be done to bring things back to where you feel they should be?
Wouldn't it be between the two, though?
Yes, and
that's going to make more sense.
Also from your side, so that they can be compared and or work together to make that checklist. But it sounds like there are things that aren't happening now that could be or should be happening now.
Well, they're on that checklist, though.
Are they all?
So it'll be.
Maybe the passwords.
So typically, I tried to get a quarterly report in within a month after the end of the quarter. So, for instance, this would have been a meeting where I would have provided a quarterly report if I had a 6:30 balance sheet and interest income and all the things that went along for me to put together a quarterly report. And it just means getting that information. So I can work, yeah, it's just coordinating it again.
Cheryl,
Yeah.
just so I'm clear, are those details not in the financial reports that are submitted into the packet as far as the investments?
Well, perhaps, but what I'm saying, in order to do whatever I would do to get it into the second meeting after the end of the quarter, I'd need to get that information more quickly. I can't wait. So a bank statement reconciliation report would be the key for me. That would be my best document to work from. So at 6:30 or September 30th or December 31st, March 31st, I need those quarterly bank reconciliations given to me, and that would be my starting point.
It sounds like they could work this out.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to propose, we have a new finance director who, became official here earlier, well, I guess last week. I would like him to get his feet under him a little bit and establish, his own ideas of how he is going to run the office. And I'd like to support him and work with him on that. And then I think there's certainly always room for better communication and better collaboration within the town departments. So I think we can maybe revisit this, a month or so from now, after Jonathan's gotten a chance to kind of get his feet under him and talk about how we could maybe implement some of these ideas.
Mary.
I would question why you'd have to wait a month.
Yeah.
Because this used to be, I remember both of these actions as being regularly occurring, events. So, I mean, not in I just think it should be done sooner. Just it's like, well, even if you say, well, you might not quite know how to do this yet, but this is coming up and you've got to learn how to do this. It's on your list of educational objectives as a new finance officer is the way I would want to do it. I would not wait a month.
Well, my position, Mary, just to explain if I could, and Jonathan can certainly explain it for himself, but so we got a lot of things going on right now. We got end of year closeouts, and we have audits that are going to be beginning, and we have a new employee that's being trained. So this stuff has not been done in years. I think we all just established that. Not that it shouldn't be done, but what I'm saying is maybe for the next quarter, if Cheryl is interested in providing the statutory report that hasn't been done, we can work with her in September to do it. I don't think we would have a fire drill right now to say, well, let's get a report done for June 30th. That doesn't make sense to me with the HR issues that we have right now. That's all.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I think if I'm starting on a new job and I know all the things that I need to incorporate, I feel better prepared. I can always push back, say, I can't do that right now, but at least I know it's there and I'm going to incorporate the thinking on that while I do what I can right now. So I know it's coming. I'm not going to set up any systems that won't allow that thing to happen in the future or make it more difficult. He's a sophisticated, experienced guy. It's hard to see that he would object to knowing. This is not a complex thing. And most of the information here is pretty straightforward. I would give him a chance to at least tell you he can't deal with it.
I'm not suggesting we're not going to talk about this tomorrow, Jonathan and I. But this is like an unwarned, this popped up today as a last minute thing. I'd like to have some time to talk with him about how he would like this to proceed. He's the guy in charge of the finance office right now. So yeah, that's all. I don't think this is controversial or contentious in any way. I just think Jonathan needs a little bit of time to establish the way he wants that office to run under his direction.
Yes.
I forget when Jonathan joined us, but he's been in the office several months, right?
January.
January. So he's been under Barry's wing, definitive training on handover for at least maybe a couple of months.
Yeah. Now he's in
He's not,
charge.
he's not freshing off the street, right?
No, but he's not been in charge either, I don't think.
He's got municipal management experience.
He does. He's probably fine. But it's got to get everything done.
I would go with Mary here.
You know, it is end of the year closeout. It is audit.
I think
It's a lot going on.
I think he'd relish the chance to get
You
moving.
might actually like it.
Thank you.
But if I might, I just would, Brendan, I would really appreciate more communication on when people in the finance office are departing their jobs, and be told that so that I can do what I need to do with the banking relationship and delete them. So I will ask that of you tonight, that doesn't occur again, so that I can, protect the town's bank accounts. And I'm not saying anything negative about Barry. I just good procedures and good policy. So please keep me informed.
Yeah,
It's like when you leave a company.
That's fine,
you-
Cheryl, and I will try to do that. I'd like you to understand that we had a very flexible agreement with Barry, who stayed on long after July 1st, which is when she was hoping to be kind of resigned and gone, to fill in for a vacationing employee to keep the office running. And it was a little ambiguous as to when she was going to actually be signing off finally and gone forever. So that's a little bit of the confusion. And geez, Barry was here for almost 3 years as a highly valued, trusted, key employee of the town. So I don't think it's really reasonable that you would be feeling insecure, that rush to shut off somebody's access overnight. Like, to me, that seems very strange. I get it.
Really?
If an
I
employee
am
is-
shocked.
If an
That
employee
is
is
shocking.
Mr. Chair.
That is.
Brennan, in my experience in the corporate sector, when you leave an organization, your email is terminated at 5 p.m. that day. This is no different to that.
Well, it is if you're making like some sort of a assumption that Barry would go in nefariously to our town bank.
I'm not.
No.
It has nothing to do with this.
I'm going to interrupt here. It's not a personal matter. It's
Procedure.
Professionalism, and that's just regular business. When somebody leaves, they leave. They're gone. They understand that. You understand that. There's no.
It protects them as well.
Yeah, it protects everybody.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not a matter of whether you trust that person or not. It's just business. That's how business is run. Government is run.
And we certainly have appreciated Barry.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So, Mr. Chair, may I raise one small point on policy? I have been looking at our master financial policy. This is a document of some relevance to our discussion. It's a little bit of a plum pudding of a document, if I may invoke the term.
Not unless you explain it.
How does this relate to internal control checklist? I'm trying to keep things.
This is our guidelines for how we operate, when people leave, how we do controls and checks.
Okay, but that we're getting off track here.
Yeah, we should probably just have a
I'd like
motion
to
to clear this bit out.
Policy may help.
Internal control checklist?
That's where we are now. So
Are we finished?
I'm becoming a policy.
Are you?
We have one more thing we have to talk about, don't forget.
So the next.
I've made my request.
If we can move on, is the approval of town expenditures prior to payment.
Excuse me, we haven't moved to accept the internal control checklist document, which is on our motion sheet.
Do we need to do that?
Well, it will be abundantly clear that we've acknowledged.
Okay.
If
I feel like we did last time, but this time
will
we're
nail it
definitely
down.
doing it.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Would anyone like to make a motion?
I move to acknowledge receipt of the document made available by the Auditor of Accounts pursuant to 32 VSA Section 163, parentheses 11, regarding internal financial controls and further acknowledge the checklist for municipalities, cities and towns document referenced in 24 VSA section 1571, parentheses D, has been reviewed and discussed.
Second.
May I just suggest that it state that the treasurer completed this form in that motion? Completed by the town treasurer?
Well, that's,
I don't know. Maybe I'm not hearing, whatever.
that's not a requirement.
Okay, fine.
I think we're trying to deal with the requirement.
The minutes would show.
I seconded it, Mary did it.
Leighton, Sweat. Discussion, no, let's vote. Lassen.
Aye.
Leighton.
Yes.
Spear.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
Griggs, yes. Terrific.
Thank you.
11B, don't leave, please. Approval of town expenditures prior to pavement. Now, this is about the credit card. We discussed this before. You would like to make a proposal, or are we just discussing your concern that we're doing something wrong?
So I brought this up 2 weeks ago and you asked me to write this memo. I did it. I brought you the statutory reference to remind you all that you have the authority to approve payments, and that authority allows me to sign checks and do any other payments that would need to be done. However, we've gotten into a situation where we're not doing things according to statute. And that's what I'm bringing to your attention. I need this to be corrected because it violates state statute. So I understand that the credit card payment initiated the concern and that it needed to be done electronically. But it was never clear to me that it wouldn't be done after approval by the select board. And in fact, from those minutes, it stated that as needed, it would be done electronically. So it's been regularly done electronically at this point, since April. There is no change to the procedure. However, you're not getting a warrant to approve until a month later.
Understood.
So that is a problem and that needs to be corrected.
What's the solution?
The solution is to get a warrant prepared with an off-cycle signature from one of the authorized select board members before the payment is made.
Mary.
I think it's just completely reasonable that we should do it and have a motion, proposed motion, if you want to hear it.
Love to.
Okay.
Sounds sensible to me.
Well, I think it's just sensible. I move to authorize the chair and vice chair to sign an off-cycle warrant to ensure timely payment of the town credit card bill, invoice, I'd say.
Sure.
How's that?
And you already.
That implies when necessary, because sometimes we're on the right cycle, is that right?
I don't know. I've been told it's only going to be done electronically. That's what I've been told.
Well, in the state that we have to do.
Yeah, okay.
It says to ensure timely payment takes care of that, I think.
Okay.
So that's what I moved that. Who was the second?
Can you read it again?
I move to authorize the chair and vice chair to sign an off-cycle warrant to ensure timely payment of the town credit card invoice.
So you've already done that at your organizational meetings. That's what I pointed to based on the
Right.
statute you've already.
Right, but what this is doing is, because you've noticed it hasn't been.
Being followed.
Yes, so this nails it down specifically
It's up
to
to you.
that, okay?
I'll second it.
Little discussion, any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
at the risk of quoting policy, within five, this is page 25 of the master financial policy, within 5 business days of each credit card transaction, the department head shall furnish the finance department a signed itemized receipt and purchase record detailing exactly what was purchased and to what account it should be charged. The purpose for this is to prepay when possible to avoid finance and late charges. That's our current town policy dated 2019.
Okay, and we're probably doing that, you know, or?
Well, my understanding, again, I'm not in there working, but my understanding is that it's some routine charges and that come every month. So those are pretty straightforward, but then you're going to have departments that need to use it to buy something. And understanding, again, I don't have a procedure or policy on any of this. And my understanding is that if other department head uses it and comes back with it, they bring the card back and return it, and they bring a receipt. And so you can pile those up, have it ready to be paid. Maybe Brennan has a better, clearer answer than I do, but it needs to be approved is my thing.
I think the details of organizing it will fall into place, but I think this motion indicates our desires for what should happen. So I don't think we need to. Yeah, I mean, I think, the details will fall into place, I think.
All right. Good.
But we have to vote.
Any further discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need to ensure that the chair and the vice chair are going to be available to sign off on these warrants when they're requested to do so in a timely way. If I have that assurance, I think this will work out fine.
We do payroll.
That's true.
You have my assurance, Brennan.
I have a question about that, Brennan. Do the credit card bills come up in a timely manner, the same way that payroll does?
We
Monthly?
have a regular
quarterly?
payment. Yes, we have a regular payment schedule for the credit card payment.
So the chair and the vice chair could be made aware of that
Put it in our calendar.
and put it in their calendars so that they don't mess up. Or if one's on vacation or in like Denmark or something, the other one could do
Well,
it.
if he does, I'm his delegate.
I know.
But he's the primary, I'm the delegate.
This can also be done in DocuSign.
Yeah.
Well, that's another, see, the details will fall into place, but I think, I think this makes sense.
Kimo, are
Clear it
you,
out.
just to be clear, because we have had some issues here with trying to get people signatures for payroll, and it's slipped by for days, and we've had to follow up a lot. So if you're willing to do DocuSign, I think that is the simplest form of getting somebody an immediate bill that they can immediately sign, as opposed to hoping somebody comes into the town office and signs it with a pen. So I think that would be a nice maybe even
Nice way to do it.
maybe even added into this motion if that's appropriate.
We can just say we sign it, whether you're signing it in person or DocuSign, it's the same.
But having the DocuSign available, if it helps to ensure the timely signing, is a good idea.
And I'm not quite sure when you're referring, we haven't had any problem getting the payroll signed.
I'm hearing two different things here. I don't know.
Well, no,
When that comes up, I don't know what to think. So.
Going forward, this seems like a good step forward for everyone, and details will follow.
And the tradition has been, when there's been an off-cycle warrant, that it's in the next packet.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's included in the next packet.
Right.
Along, and it says copy on it or some like notation like that.
Yes.
We have to be cognizant of not approving it when we see it in the packet.
Right, and so, for instance, there was a warrant given to me that Kimo signed for Blue Cross Blue Shield off-cycle. I would have expected that in this packet for all the rest of the select board to see. So that's another step that needs to be followed. Yeah.
I thought it was in there.
I don't think so.
It is in one, it is Kimo, it's embedded in the bigger warrant, but it is not what you signed as the off-cycle warrant.
Okay.
There is a document.
Okay, all right, well, if there's no more discussion, we'll vote.
Thank you all.
Mary's motion, right?
Yes, so 11B, Clausen?
Aye.
Leighton?
Yes.
Here?
Yes.
Sweat?
Yes.
Griggs? Who moved that? Leighton?
I did.
Yeah, I seconded that.
And Sweat, okay. Terrific. Okay. Next item is town manager goals and evaluation.
I think we're actually doing the implementation. Oh, sorry. Could we take a quick break?
Let's take a quick break.
All right. Do we have to move for a quick break?
Do we stop recording?
No. Why don't we stop recording until 8:45?
Recording
Good idea.
stopped.
Take a break. Unmuted.
All right, we are back.
Is it recording?
Yes. Announced it was recording.
Jan, you can hear us, town manager?
I can hear you, yes, and it is recording.
Thank you. All right, terrific. Item number 12, town manager goals and evaluation. So our town manager put the draft 2026 town manager goals and town manager annual performance evaluation into the packet. I'm not sure what to say about it. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think he did put it into the packet. I think it reflects the projects he's been working on, general requirements of the job. A new one is the, looking into plans for DPW. And also I always catching these typos, I'm gonna tell you. So it says PO number 2D on page 4, which is about Tracy Hall. TM will work to identify and complete regular maintenance projects in and around Tracy Hall that have been deferred. I think it probably meant defined.
Or deferred.
Deferred, okay, so not deferred.
Yeah.
So just correct the spelling. But I sort of think it's important to do that.
So just
But
to be clear, this is, what's in the packet was what Matt had submitted, I think, 2 meetings ago. Unchanged. This isn't something that I put into the packet, or I crafted and put into the packet. This is Matt's rendition of his ideas that we all, I think, had agreed that this made sense. This was a good document. We were ready to approve it, and then a month has gone by.
Thank you for that clarification.
And I made that mistake.
Well, sorry, it's like
I'm just kidding. But like, yes, so this was a consolidation of a lot of what people had written in for goals and assessment stuff, and including some of the additional thoughts that I had into one sort of possible document for outlining goals that we have for him, that we'll finish on, or that we can then evaluate in September. So one of the main things was also to just get something, so we had something in September.
Right.
And to try to also, there are several other goals that I put on there. There was 2 new ones, or 2 major new ones, which was one was a focus on a green initiative, and then the other one was to start to create, compile, and present to the select board a packet of our capital spending plan. The packet should include an updated overview spreadsheet showing all the planned reserve fund appropriations for the next 5 to 10 years, capital replacement plans for vehicles and equipment for all appropriate departments, and all available plans for infrastructure maintenance and replacement. And when we, that's something that the select board's required to, by policy, to approve on our capital spending plan. And this will help us make more informed decisions. And as Brendan pointed out last time we talked about this, some of these performance objectives are gonna go on further past his evaluation. But I think it's important to put these on here as, goals, because they're important for moving us forward and improving our fiscal fiduciary responsibilities as select board in regards to the town.
Yeah, Matt, I really liked that you put in this. I'm assuming you mean capital budget plan for this.
Yeah. It's been called so many different things.
I go for capital budget.
I'm honestly happy to put together even just a framework of what we're kind of thinking of, but I didn't want to do that because it's kind of.
I think as I'm still new to this, as I'm aware, you've got to make a 5-year plan, but then it's updated every year once you've done that.
Right.
So that's a really important thing, and that signifies what you just said, it's ongoing.
Yeah, and it and it's been like, it's been, I think 2
years,
two years ago, we kind of put one together in a sprint. And so now it's time to kind of like recircle back, see what we have, and then take steps forward, like continually improve it.
No, that's good. I like that you added that. That's been missing, I think. Yeah.
And I've already seen in the performance objective for 2G, the TMO work to identify, evaluate, and provide actionable recommendations to the select board for how the town can improve its energy efficiency. I go into specificity, but he's already started moving on that, and that's great. We have the past 2 meetings, we've had reports on things he's moved forward.
Article 36, right?
Yeah.
I have another sort of type of comment. I like this for now. I think we should pass it because, a lot of these things have, almost all have been done, like the roof and so forth, and they're pointing to the future. In September, I would want, when we create new goals, to think about how we would integrate, for instance, the finance committee into the budget process. Like, how can we do that gracefully? We've been struggling with that. And how can we communicate about things about the surplus, which are so emotional? And just kind of like, well, let's calm down about it and just figure out whether decision tree, do you want to send that towards the taxpayer relief, or do you want to, invest more in Tracy Hall or what? So I'd like to see that as something we talk about in late August, when we're thinking about evaluating, or whenever we're going to start that.
Yeah, finance committee for sure.
Right, it's just kind of generally how to involve citizens in this, but without impeding the work of our employees, and also how to base it on policy and goals and values of this town. So it just goes beyond personalities. It's not about personalities, it's about what we want as a town and how to organize it. But I like this. I think we should just pass this. And, be thinking about any other future ones that we might bring up at the end of summer.
One thing I wanted to add to the first one, PO-1A, the TM fulfills statutory duty to perform and execute the duties required of the town. That's very broad, but I think it kind of captures what we're trying to say, and this applies to us as well, I think we've acutely felt this with either no policies or out-of-date policies, that we've had to fall back on statute. And I've really relied on that a lot. Just having no experience, unlike some of you guys who've been here for a while. Statute has been my go-to. And I think it's, beholden on all of us to become really familiar with statute, both ourselves and the town manager, and to demonstrate an intimate knowledge of statute and act according to that in a responsible manner. That's your statutory duty. So kind of define statutory duty, which of course is spelled out in whatever it is.
It's talked about above it.
1236, 1238.
Yeah, they're all up,
They're all up there.
The main ones are up there, and it's both broad and specific. Specific things.
It starts broad and then it breaks them out.
Yeah, and there are specific things not supposed to do too.
Yeah. So, statutory duty, if it's implied that knowledge of statute is inherent in that, absolutely, that's
Well, it's absolutely required by law.
Yeah.
And it's in his contract.
Yeah.
So that it's,
But getting,
but you have to put it in there.
It'd be nice for each of us to reciprocally know each other's statutes. To your micromanaging concerns, Rob. We need to know where our remit stops and the town manager starts, and vice versa. Because we've kind of struggled with that a little bit.
I think there'll always be a little bit of slop.
Overlap.
Well, I don't think it's not like the, I don't know what.
I know.
They're not strict. Sometimes they're very strict and specific, and other times it's like they allow things, and there's a little more give and take.
So it's sort of exercising our judgment and our.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. And it can be subjective on occasion, let's be honest. I think we've struggled with that a lot.
I haven't, I guess I'm not as ready as you are. It's not that I'm not ready to act, but there are a couple of things. One is communications. This doesn't address website, for example.
Right.
It also doesn't address evaluation structure in town. Last year, we gave everybody a 7-something% raise, which is a lot. And I'm not saying it wasn't warranted, but I have no idea what qualifications or how evaluations were done.
And some of it is union.
Some of it is
union requirements.
But what are the how are our heads of departments evaluated? What does that look like? I'd be interested to see that.
So that would come under communication, I think, right?
Yeah.
But would that maybe be a goal for, end of August, like a future goal? I just think this gets us through.
So when I would, to speak to exactly what you just said, when I wrote the memo, when I submitted this, I specifically said that I did not tackle communication and feel like it's really, really valid. But it was such a larger part that to put it in here and evaluating him on that.
For sort of an interim time too.
For this September was too much right now, but yeah, website, like there's a lot for communication. I just didn't find as much consensus, like it just seemed like something to do on the next evaluation, like to add to the goals in September.
Also, if we clear this out, if we think this is reasonable, it will release us to think more about things like communication and the questions that you have, even start making lists of questions. Or, ideas about DPW or whatever. So I think we should just clear this out because we've had the awkwardness too of when do we do this? When do we set these goals,
Well, the top of page 24 says ability to communicate with select board, town staff, committees, commissions, boards, and elected officials.
Right. So it's not like it's not in there, but there's always specific questions.
Yeah.
It is sort of there. I think it's maybe the point you get into, is that it can be improved from the current.
Yeah, I'm looking for a really good long-term, not for a person, but for a town manager. That's what I've always been after, like a good base set of goals and they can add the specifics too. So this starts with specifics and then we're adding the general stuff. And to me, that's a backward way to come up with an evaluation program.
Okay. Yeah, noted. This, again, in that memo, I'm not saying that this is the best way to do it. I did there's goals written in here that are the goals from your packet. And I tried to then drill down, but I think it would be great if we, as we're doing agenda setting, each meeting, if we carve out, 10 or 15 or 20 minutes to talk about what his goals are going to be beginning after this evaluation, then we kind of have them, or at least have gotten a good foothold on them so that we can really present him with goals that are really for the whole year. I know we have two hands up.
Yes. Jan, let's take Jan first.
Yeah, thank you. Jan Lansbury, and I just wanted to go back to the capital planning goal and say just a word about the Planning Commission's interest in adding a capital planning element as we redo the town plan. And so I would hope it sounded like the way the goal was written for the TM, it was very much, it was all of filling out the spreadsheet. What do we have for, needs, and when do the police cars get done, and all the departments' needs. So that's clearly appropriate and necessary, but then even just like a line that says, and work with other elements of town government, which might be the finance committee, it would certainly be the planning commission, and the select board on a full capital budget utility and facilities plan, which is the first thing that kicks it off from our point of view, but put it in context, that specific goal.
Love that. Yeah, and you're right. I was really talking about spreadsheet stuff. Getting it all in one place so that we can start to improve it from that place and add to it. And yeah, that what we're creating, or what I was thinking of creating is a subset of what you guys would be working on.
Yep.
You want to add language to that, this draft to reflect that, or is this more for September? Like Matt, just asking.
I think you're saying, go ahead.
I think you can do some of the spreadsheet stuff can be pulled together in a shorter term. When we talk about pulling together a town-wide activity associated with long-term capital planning process, that's probably a next new year, September onward.
So probably what we have written here is a goal.
It's good for the interim.
For right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I did not have a motion, other than I moved to, because I wasn't really sure.
I have one.
Yeah.
Mine is, I move to adopt the 2026 town manager goals draft as presented in the 7/20/22 packet.
2026 town manager draft.
I move to adopt the 2026 town manager goals draft as presented in the 7/22/26 packet. Hope that's enough, but.
Okay, discussion, further discussion? I'm sorry. Brennan, you put your hand down.
Wait,
You're muted.
You're
Still
muted.
muted.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
You're still muted.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna just comment prior, that you kind of made an inconsistent comment there about 7% or 7-point-something% increases, which isn't accurate. 5.4% increase was what everyone in the town employee received. It was not 7% or anything like that. And I wanted to point out you had gone to a vote, but I think there was no second there to that motion, or I didn't hear it at least.
Here's
Rob.
Here, seconded it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's vote. Leighton, Klassen.
Aye.
Leighton.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Terrific. Item 13, town manager proposal for implementation of real-time access to correspondence. Anybody want to move to accept? I called it the undated proposal because I couldn't find a name or a date on it. Thought maybe we'd want to apply a date to it, or
Page 26.
or we don't have to.
We could give just the date of tonight's meeting. This is where we're looking at it.
Just say page 26 of the packet.
Or, or as presented in the packet. Just take out undated and say as presented in the packet. Or in the July 22nd packet.
Mhm.
Oh, you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to talk this one through.
I am wondering if it's, and I'll just be the devil's advocate, if it's just adding a layer of administrative burden. That it's going to be, I think it's going to be a lot more work for the people in the office. I think it's unnecessary. I think we could just wait a little bit as we have done. And I don't always think it's good to jump when someone says boo. You know, you're talking about response time and we're like not McDonald's. I want my hamburger and I want it now. I think it's okay to wait to have those items in the packet. So I'm just going to push back a little bit on that. You know, if people really want it, I'll go along with it, but I just not convinced that it's necessary.
How does it hurt?
The only way I see that it hurts is that I think it adds more time for our staff to have to work with all the messages that come in, like under cons over here. Correspondence is sometimes revised, withdrawn, or replaced by submitters, requiring staff to update or remove files to ensure the web page remains current. In addition, when correspondence is sent to multiple recipients, including the Select Board at Norwich, Vermont.us address, subsequent reply all email exchanges also become part of the correspondence record, requiring staff to repeatedly update posted materials to ensure they remain complete and current. So, and it's also housekeeping, because they got to take down the, temporary messages in between meetings. So to me, it just adds a lot of kind of bureaucratic administrative time that I don't think is of value. So I'll just say that as a little devil's advocate thing.
Okay, well, I disagree. Talking to the town manager's office about it, it didn't sound like it was going to add difficulty. Right now.
Who did you talk to?
Britt and Miranda.
Okay, and so perhaps this is a different message from our town manager, because I'm seeing it right against.
There too. We're all in the same room. And I was asking them.
Well, I'm seeing a little disconnect here. I just read this. This is not my opinion. This is what we received in the packet. So
Well,
it is
I can
something,
tell you.
I won't keep carping on it, but I do think it's of concern.
All right, well, I register your concern, yes, Matt.
So I also saw this as cumbersome, but what I was coming up with was I see the value of getting documents real time. So what I'm wondering is if we could just go back to kind of what everybody, I think, when they join the select board thinks that the select board email address does, is that just put our emails on as forwarding addresses on the select board email address, so that if someone writes to select board, it gets sent to us and it gets sent to the town manager's office for inclusion in the packet. We can see that it came in from through the select board email address, and just practice good, prudent emailing and not reply to those things. But then we don't have to be notified that they're up because we get it real time. We don't have to be going to and checking the web page all the time. We get it in real time, and we don't have to make sure that the public sees it, because the public will see it when it's published in the packet.
They have to see it when we do.
I'm not. Is that? Are you sure?
That's the role. Yeah.
What's the role?
Because I didn't think that.
Could you repeat that, please?
That is the.
Could we hear it again, please?
The rule is that when we see material that goes in the packet, the public has to see it.
Has to be able to, okay, so I'm staying corrected.
At the same time, it's a public records thing, I believe, that the working documents or reference documents of a government body must be available to the public at the same time as the body.
It's a little weird.
Only on a
because
website.
But Jan, so it is a little weird because sometimes we get letters sent to us at the same time that they send them to the select board. They put both addresses on it.
Right.
And I've never known how to deal with that. So
Again, I just receive, and then we talk about it at the next meeting.
So right now, a document comes in. I was completely unaware that correspondence is sometimes revised, withdrawn, or replaced by submitters. I've been told in the past that doesn't happen. So this is news to me. So if that is happening, I'd sure like to know that's happening, because I'm not doing that. And this is select board business, not town manager business. So if the town manager is working with people to withdraw, replace, revise, we should see that. That's our business, not the town manager's business. It's coming to the select board. I don't think that's actually happening, but maybe it is. If that's a concern, then I'm deeply concerned.
Can I
If
address
something-
this, please? Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm going to finish here. Right now, when something comes in to Britta or Miranda, they make it into a PDF and put it in a folder. If we can see that folder, there's no added work. No added work. We simply see the folder, they're putting the documents in. And later, they collate all the documents into one to put in the packet. And I'm guessing they take the documents they've collated and erase them. No added work then, they already do that. All I'm asking is, let me see it a little earlier, so that I might, for example, something like the faucet, I would have liked to have been able to get that on an agenda immediately. It's been, what, 7 or 8 weeks? We should have dealt that, in a week or 2 weeks, right? Or things like that. We could respond more quickly. I'm sure you can say, well, it's not McDonald's, but these are the people I'm serving. And when they come to me with an issue, I want to act on it if I can. Get it out of the way, get off my list, get it off their list. Be responsive. I don't see the harm in that. Things may still take a long time, but the opportunity to act on them, the opportunity for a person setting the agenda, the chair, to see what's in right now I got a list of what might be on the agenda. And there's another list next to it saying whether there are documents or not, but I don't see the documents. So if I saw the documents and I'm setting the agenda, I can make a decision there that, oh, we could do this now, or this could be put off possibly. Right, you could make that decision because you can see what you're dealing with. Right now, it's a mystery. I set the agenda, and then a day or two later, I see the packet. That's really backward to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just trying to figure out an even slicker way to.
Actually,
And I do agree, for everything that you listed, I would appreciate seeing things sooner.
Yeah, Mary.
I'd like to hear what the town manager wanted to say.
Yeah.
So a couple thoughts here. One of them, Chemo, just to be clear about how this correspondence works, and I feel like we've talked about this a lot, but someone can submit a document for the packet to the select board and then before the packet is gone out, they may say, oh, I didn't mean that to go into the packet. I thought that was going to go to the individuals in private, and they could retract that. So when we receive something, that's what's noted, right? They are able to pull that out and say, I did not mean for that to go into this packet, up until the point where that packet is issued. That is my understanding of that. So I think what that memo is from staff is saying, if somebody puts it into the packet and it goes onto the website, and then somebody says, well, wait a sec, I want that to be withdrawn, then they would have to withdraw that from the website. I think that's the context that was meant in that memo from the staff who helped create it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, that's fine, Brendan. If we're involved in that, we see the withdrawal as well.
Yeah, again, I think it's more of a work-related, does this cause more effort on the part of the town staff? What's been presented at the moment is basically putting all of these documents onto the website and allowing anybody, select board members or the public, to view those in real time. And up to the point of a packet deadline of noon on Thursday, those packet materials could be conceivably pulled out. And after that deadline of noon on Thursday, those are in the packet. Like that is how we've done this consistently, long before I got here. So I guess in my mind, you are you're able to do whatever you want. The town manager's staff will do this if you wish to do it this way. But you will have to revise, I think, the correspondence policy that we agreed to in March, because I think this will change this a little bit.
We can do that. Yeah, I think, just so our other colleagues know, Kimo and I meet with the town manager and Miranda and Britta every Wednesday to set the agenda. So you guys are aware of that, right? And Kimo has a slight advantage because he's got some historical knowledge. So he'll see stuff that's come up before. Whereas me, being new, will see Culvert on Route 132. And I haven't got a clue what it's about. Just no idea. I don't know who's the adjacent landowner. I don't know what the issue is about. I don't know who's going to do the work, how much money it is, whether we're going to approve it, turn it down, table it, vote on it, whatever. So I go to those agenda setting meetings, and I'm just running blind. I can't contribute anything in many cases. Sometimes it's easy, like Katuki lawsuit, or approve the minutes, or put approving the agenda up to the front, things like that. That's easy. But some stuff I just don't have any idea of the content or the subject.
But if I can add something, so we're talking about two different things here, and they're unique. What this discussion was about is correspondence. So this is what is coming in from a resident that wants to have something noted by the select board. The agenda setting is often going to be material that is submitted by a department head, or is going to be item that the select board has chosen to put onto the agenda for the meeting, or something the town manager is aware of as a topic that we would put onto an agenda for the meeting. So there's really two separate things being talked about right now that I think are confusing people. Correspondence coming in is what I thought we were talking about, in the last several meetings or months that this has gone on. Agenda setting and topics for the agenda, I think, are often quite different.
Well, both categories end up on the agenda, so we need to see both, right?
Yeah, well, if I get to a Wednesday meeting and I see a list of agenda items that the town manager would like to see on the agenda, and next to it is a list that shows what documents or which items are supported by documents, I would want to be able to see all the documents in advance of setting the agenda. If there's a document that's existing, whether it's a police report or a correspondence, I don't see the harm in having those things available to look at, so that when you're setting the agenda, you know what they are.
Yeah, but that's, I think, that's very different than sharing them publicly with everyone in the town. Like I think there's a deliberative process of, do we want this on the agenda? This is a request from a department head. Does it make sense to do it now? Do we need to flesh it out more? So you're talking about adding a whole different complexity right now, Kimo, that I haven't even thought about, to be honest.
But Brandon, I'm only asking that when you tell me something needs to be on the agenda, it goes on the agenda. There is no
we discuss it, I think, in the agenda setting meeting is usually how that process has occurred. And I explain what it is that I think should be on the agenda and why. And then there's a discussion about, does that make sense? And then we usually add it to the agenda.
But if it's a town manager report, a DPW report, a report from, we've never negotiated that. They always go on because you need them to go on.
Those are like the standard meeting topics in some cases. I think I'm confused as to what we're even talking about right now.
I'm saying that if something is going to go into the packet, go ahead and put it in the packet folder.
For everyone in town to see before it goes on to the agenda, though.
What's the difference between seeing it on a Wednesday or a Friday? What is the difference?
Well, the deadline for submission is usually Thursday at noon.
You're talking correspondence still, Kimo?
I'm talking anything at this point that goes into the packet could go into a folder.
Which everyone would then see.
Yeah, I'd like to think about that. We were following a regular.
Okay, well, we could start with correspondence, see how it
Sure.
goes, and then add the second one, but
Correspondence seems to make logical sense to me because it's stuff that's being sent to us from our constituents. I just haven't thought about the other way that we're now talking about it, which is everything in the packet gets put up whenever it's received. I'd like to give that some more thought, but I do support getting as much of real-time constituent, people who send things to select board email address. I think that would be good.
we can start there.
Yeah, I think Brennan has to be telling us what's going on from his sector, right? And we need to represent equally our constituents in a similar fashion. So it's two inputs, right? It's town managers, departments and everything else, which honestly, we don't know a lot about because we're not micromanaging him, Rob. So we need to know what's coming, but we don't need to know all the gory details. But if somebody writes about a sneaking trash at the dump or the mail delivery or whatever else is going wrong, the culvert breaking, it's good that we get to see that and not have it triaged or filtered. And sometimes there's been some filtering, I'll be honest. Like there's been contentious backwards and forwards and ons and ups and offs and outs and all the rest of it. And there's at least 3 instances I know where it's been very contentious, whether something goes on, stays off, goes back on again. And that was not the constituent saying, I've changed my mind. And I don't think that happens very often. And honestly, if you send something to select board, the internet's forever. You're on the hook. You can't just rescind your request and say, oh, no, sorry, changed my mind.
Well, I mean.
You've got to be careful when you're sending stuff.
Pam's had her hand up for a second.
Pam Smith, would you like to weigh in?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Pam Smith, resident. I have to say that I'm pretty shocked by the comment by the town manager just now that a resident has the right to rescind something that is sent to the select board email, when we all know that back in February, myself and my husband requested that something be withdrawn from the packet, and the chair and the town manager overruled myself and my husband and kept it in the packet. So I think you need to have a consistent policy. Either you are going to honor the request of a resident, or you're going to overrule that and keep it in the packet 100% across the board. Everyone gets treated the same, because it's not right to say, well, we like this person, so we'll take it out. But if it's something that we think needs to have discussion because we didn't like what was said, then we'll keep it in so that there can be a response to that. So I'm just asking for a consistent policy. Either you honor the request or you have a policy that there is no rescission. Thank you.
If I may respond.
Sure.
So again, there is a deadline of noon on Thursday. That deadline, in the instance that Pam Smith is referring to with her husband's correspondence that had already appeared in the listserv earlier that day, was received before that deadline. There was a notice sent out saying, would you,
100%.
this is going to go into the packet, and it was not rescinded till after the deadline. That's the consistency that I think we're trying to continue. Like there needs to be some rules there. You can't just pull something out on Sunday night because you decided it wasn't to your liking now. I don't know that this is really relevant to what we're talking about tonight, but I feel like I did need to address that from Ms. Smith.
Brennan, how often does this happen?
I think it happens. I think it happens occasionally where someone will send in a message to the Selectboard at Norwich email address. And the process, as I've said, is Britta will then notify them, thank you for your correspondence. This will appear in the next packet. And we have had certain instances where people have said, well, geez, I didn't know this was going to go into the packet with my name on it. I don't want it to, or thought better of their message before that deadline and have asked to have it pulled out. And we've, I think in most cases or every case, honored that and said, okay, that was, you didn't know where you were sending that. You know, they could also send individual messages to individual select board members. I know that's happened often. If they wanted a select board member to know something and didn't want their name in a packet or a message in a packet, you know, I guess that's a right of anonymity to share something with your elected officials without making it public to all.
But I would think, from my point of view, if someone changed their mind or circumstances were altered, I would appreciate knowing that and hearing their rationale for withdrawing it. And I'd accept it, fine, be no problem. Maybe someone's got a water leak and suddenly it dries up and it's not leaking anymore. Rafe up on Main Street. Remember we saw, yeah, I think it's still leaking though. That's an example. But you know, I don't think it's such a big deal. It's like, this is the constituents who want us to be attentive to their needs and their pleas and their petitions. And we don't need to be protected from it.
Just want to respond to that, just on the other side of the coin, to have this file where everything comes in real time and is there for everyone to see, it puts all the responsibility on the people who send it. You know what I mean? It's like there's no, it's all there. I mean, it's whatever anybody thought and it's in real time. And if they regret it, they can write something else and stick that in.
Yeah.
But it puts it all on the people who send it.
Makes you think twice, doesn't it?
So
yes,
we need to be careful that, you know, there's something in writing that says, you know, be careful.
Beware. This is front page of the New York Times. Be careful. Exercise good judgment.
So for the other,
nothing wrong with that.
My inclination is try, if it doesn't work, we can go back very easily. But if it does work, it will be an improvement.
that's true. We'd try it out and see.
And if it is an improvement, I think it could end up being a major improvement because communication could happen quickly.
We'll see. But, right.
And then you don't have constituents playing favorites on the select board. You know, someone sends something to me because they know I'm going to do something about it. They should say let's not put a blanket on that, but let's encourage them to be broader in their communications.
And thoughtful.
Okay.
There's 5 people who vote on their issue, not just me, right? So they need to understand.
By design, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to maybe push this motion, understanding that the description we're seeing here is not complete. So the mechanism has to be further worked out and specified, I think.
What's missing?
And, well, what wording do you put above the select board email? That should probably change. Just a little bit of warning, right? That when you submit this, it will become visible.
Okay, so do you want to sort of say this is a first reading of this proposal and we want to amend it a little bit? Like to, instead of trying to pass it tonight?
Well, I think we could accept the proposal, but I don't think this proposal is specific enough.
But that's what I'm asking you, is like, but like we would want to add that warning label that, look, once it's there, it's there.
We also have to update our correspondence policy.
And we have to update our
There are a couple of
correspondence
steps that
policy.
have to happen.
Okay, well, maybe we should not pass it tonight then, but make sure that we've identified what needs to be added. So one thing is the warning or instructions, what would we call that?
One of the problems is that people don't necessarily, once they've learned what the address is, they may not go back to the webpage. They may just Selectboard at norwich.vermont.gov or us.gov or whatever.
They might.
So it's good to make sure they know that it's going to go, that it's available to be known that it will go automatically into the public access folder. But we need to understand that somebody may not be fully cognizant of that and will maybe make mistakes.
Well, that's true now.
So they learn, yeah.
I mean, something goes in, everybody sees it. They just don't see it immediately.
So
This is a wacko thought, but do you think there's any danger of malicious stuff going in?
I don't.
It doesn't actually go in automatically. So if it gets received by Miranda and Britta, they're gonna see it. If someone were sending something that's completely inappropriate, they would flag it and not post it on the website.
But what should we?
So,
Which is what's so
But I don't think,
yeah,
if they need to turn it into a PDF.
yeah, there's still a process here.
Right.
It doesn't go straight in the folder.
Right.
It just gives us access to their.
It's stored in the folder. We can see everything
And
that's
is it
stored.
clear what would be, I mean, like when we've been Zoom bombed, that's clearly malicious, right? So is it clear what malicious?
Well, I
I'm
think it
just
would be-
devil's advocate. I don't know why anyone would do this, but.
Well, I mean, if they were gonna do it, they'd do it now.
Yeah, there's
no difference. All it is it's the same system we're using now. They get a document in, they make a PDF, they put it in a folder. We just can't see that folder until they put the packet together.
Okay.
Now we kind of can. Now
we'd be able to.
If we
see-
go through the website, we can see the folder.
They're like people who decide they want to, like Jan gets everything that comes into the listserv as it comes in. I get it every morning.
Right.
So he knows everything before I do.
He gets all the good stuff that's for sale.
That's right.
That's pretty much why you do that.
So I've got to understand how this will work so that people know that the message is going automatically into the public access folder. When do they have that message and where is that message? It's not,
It will be the same message that they get now.
it's on the website.
No, when they send a message in, Britta sends them an email back saying, we've received your thing. And she might say it will be viewable on the website later today.
Okay, but if they don't know it will be publicly viewed, telling them after they've already sent it, when it will automatically be put in there, isn't telling them anything.
It's not automatically going in there. Britta puts it in there after telling them that it will go in. So she informs them that it's going in. And then she can.
So they've been informed, but if they had any objection to it and they didn't know about it.
They could object, it wouldn't be shown up.
It would not be shown.
Yeah, so my understanding is we need to update two things.
okay.
That we need to update on the website, on the town website. It talks about the select board address, and it says, if you send stuff to this, it will wind up in the next, in the upcoming packet.
Okay.
So we have to update that
So
to
the
say,
website one.
if you send stuff to the select board email address, it will wind up in the upcoming packet and it will be posted on the website before that, like shortly. And then Britta or Miranda's template email back to people needs to be updated as well to say, thank you for receiving it. It'll be in the next packet and we will be posting it on the website. Maybe you give them the link to that folder. And then if someone sends it to that email address, missed the original definition on the website or just doesn't understand, they will still get an email back from Britta saying that it's going to be posted on the website. If they are suddenly uncomfortable with that, they could just reply and say, I didn't realize that, please don't post it in either the packet or the website.
Okay, would you want to have a time frame for that response? Because people don't always check their email every.
Or before noon on Thursday.
Like a day or I don't
But
know.
no, then if it comes in on a Tuesday, it's there on Tuesday and it's up on the website.
Well,
It's
not a concern.
I would leave it without a time frame.
Just leave it,
Just turn over rocks just in case.
Possibly an auto reply that instantaneously says this has been received, it'll go in the packet for the next meeting and will be available on the website immediately.
I asked them about that, they were not as.
They didn't want to
about an
do the
automatic
automatic reply.
I like a real person.
Because then that gives them a certain amount of control over the process.
Okay.
And so, and that seemed to be good in this small town of 3,300 people.
So Pam has her.
So, you know, right now, we're getting what, 5 to 10 letters every 2 weeks?
Unless it's animal control. which
Yeah,
is
okay, but even so.
50 or something.
So.
And Pam has her hand
Yeah,
up.
Pam.
Thank you. Pam Smith, Norwich resident. Couple of things. It used to be that Miranda would send out an email and say, thank you for your submission. Please confirm that you would like this in the next packet, and you had to say yes, or it didn't go. The other thing that I would like to point out is I just went out to the select board page, and it says you can view the whole policy here about correspondence. And I click on here, and it says page not found. Apologies, but the requested page cannot be found. Perhaps searching will help find a related page. So your policy isn't out there.
Okay.
I think it is out there, but only if you click through to find it.
Yeah.
Because I had the same problem. I had the same problem.
It says you can view the policy here, which is a link, and I click here, and I get page not found.
That's right. I've had the same thing.
So
You can,
it
you
should
can find it
probably
later.
get
We
fixed.
should fix that.
Yeah, okay.
And I would
Any
suggest
other-
we go back to confirming that you, in fact, would like to have it in the packet rather than having it an automatic thing. That's my suggestion.
Great suggestion. Great suggestion, Pam. Thank you
Does
for
that
that.
mean that select board shouldn't see it till it's in the packet for those
Until it's-
messages?
Until it's
folder.
confirmed by the sender.
Right, I understand that part, but just if they say, okay, so if they say they don't want it in the packet, should we still be aware of it or not?
You
No,
can't.
right? Okay, so it would just, but what would happen to it? No one would see it.
No one will see it.
We wouldn't see it.
You wouldn't want to see it. Why would you want to see something that somebody didn't want?
Because then they
But
could.
who are they communicating
Then they
with?
could communicate with us directly. If the intention was just to send us their thoughts, they could send us directly their thoughts.
And so maybe they didn't know they could do it that way.
So it'll be like, I sent this in, I changed my mind, now I've changed my mind again, so Mary, can you take a look at this for me? That's what they would do.
Okay. I just want.
Which would be good, because then it's their, they have total control over it.
I think it's great if they have control over it, but I don't understand if we all have to view the same
I think it's so rare.
correspondence simultaneously, how that works. That's so rare thing, that's not, no, that's not I don't think that's a good way to think about things. That reminds me of the bandstand, where, you know, it's built for cornet players, the old one.
Yeah.
And so there was a select board member at that point who didn't like the idea of having a new one that was handicapped accessible. I said, why don't you like that? And she said, well, there's not too many of them. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like that argument.
Well, that's a relevant
So
example.
let's stay on.
Yeah.
It's not this, but I just, yeah.
So I guess I would like to approve the proposal, knowing that the proposal is not, it's not all laid out inch by inch and word by word. So the proposal's good.
Approved in principle for editing.
It encompasses what we want to happen. And then we'll allow the town manager's office to make it happen in the way that is best for them.
Okay, does that mean you could accept as presented in a motion?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try it, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Oh, there's more.
So a couple things. I think we really need some direction here. Like, don't just say, hey, this sounds all right. With all of the discussion I've heard over the last half hour, it's as clear as mud what it is that the board is actually looking to see here on the website and related to responses and everything else. So I thought the idea of holding this back tonight and thinking more about it and coming up maybe with a more defined plan that would we can implement as staff would probably be a good idea. I also just went on the website after hearing Pam's complaint. Under the select board policies, there's a link to resident correspondence, and that comes right up with the agreement that was signed in March. So I guess I'm not sure exactly where the link that is missing is or not working is being found. We don't have to discuss that right now. I'm
Different
just saying
page.
there is a,
Yeah, I can show you if you want. So I think what we're saying is we accept this proposal. The correspondence would be in the select board page of the town website as it's received, making it immediately available to the select board and the public. I'm not sure what the confusion is.
well, when does this happen? Are you going to update your policy before? And is there any direction as to what the message is? Is this totally at the discretion of the town manager and the staff to come up with the rules here?
Well, kind of your job, I think, to do that.
Do you want to write up, because this is sort of your thing, do you want to write up the specificity for him? Or do you feel like it's not necessary?
Well, I feel like I'm micromanaging at that point. So I feel like this is your department and we're asking you to allow us access earlier than we have it now. You've produced a proposal that I think will do that, but it looks like you need to do a little more work in order to fully enable it.
And do you want to approve that, or do we have authorization just to do it as we see fit?
Well, I think that's what we're supposed to do, is to give you authorization to do this in the way that is.
We can do it.
Absolutely.
I'm not arguing that this can't be done. I've heard about a half hour of many ideas and thoughts about how this should be done, and none of them have been, I guess, unified in my mind. So that's fine. We will do something. I guess I would like direction on when you would like this to be implemented. Is this something you want before the next select board meeting? Do you want to look at this again in any way?
Do we want to update
Why don't
our
we do it
policy?
after the next select board meeting, because at the next meeting, we can update our.
Update the policy.
Sure. Let's do it after the next, why don't we say, second meeting in
What would be
August?
August 18th, is it?
And I will put updated policies on our select board agenda.
It's just one
Okay.
policy, right? The correspondence
Right.
I
policy.
think so.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty sure it's one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. So do we approve this? Subject to,
Oh,
they can move forward and we can
Oh, I
move
see.
forward.
Yeah, just,
yep. Okay. I think I see. Oh, wait. I move to accept the proposal for implementation of real-time access to correspondence outlined by the town manager's office as presented in the 7/22/27 packet.
Second?
second.
All right, Clausen, second. Any more discussion?
Let's vote.
Let's vote. Clausen.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Gear.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yes.
And Griggs. Good.
Moving on.
Moving on to number 16, AP warrants. Is that the next? No, town manager report.
All right, I will try to be brief as we are at 9:45 here.
Yeah,
So-
we've read it. So,
Okay,
High point.
if you're good, I won't go into great detail. I would like to acknowledge that, as we talked about earlier, Barry's last day was on Friday. You know, this was publicly noticed, and Jonathan is now the sole and active director for the finance office, and Tyler Roden started, I think Monday was his first day. Very busy day in the office, APs and all sorts of good stuff, payroll. So he is going to be working with Jonathan in the office, and if you get a chance to stop by Tracy Hall, please poke your head in and say welcome and hello to him. The police department, I guess I also just wanted to highlight that Officer Michael Reventish has been promoted to sergeant. That happened a couple weeks ago, and Michael has been with us for about 1.5 years and is doing a great job, and we're happy to see him promoted into that higher position. I'm going to skip, I think, to the town manager's office. I just wanted to also highlight that the roadside ash tree removal project has been completed. You'll see in the warrant a final bill for Wilcox Tree Service, and I was able to go out with Doug Hardy and Steve Long today to kind of look at some of the locations where that work was done, which looks really nice. And they, by all accounts, did a really good job. And I also want to thank the members of that subcommittee for all of their very diligent hard work in moving this forward. I promised to talk a little bit about a water line installation project. That's actually a relocation project, I guess, that's going on Monday. And if anyone is watching this, be aware that we are going to have to close Main Street right around Firehouse Lane for at least the morning, possibly for more than that, longer into the day. And we will have some detours rerouting through traffic around that, and coming in from the north side, local traffic is going to be allowed up to where the work's being done. So if you need to go to the library or something, there will still be ability to get there. We put a listserv post together on that, and we'll have another posting that's going to come out tomorrow, which will probably appear on Friday. We already talked about the transfer station and the Triangle Garden. We have a new minute taker, as you're well aware. Steve, thanks for sticking with us here through these late night meetings. I wanted to let people know that we had approved the loan for the Affordable Housing Revolving Fund. I have not gotten that signed back from Twin Pines Housing. It did go through our attorney, who crafted some language there for the loan documents, but I haven't seen it back, so it's not yet executed. And then I did some outreach to the opioid fund donation recipients. Have gotten back a W-9, and so one of those is going to get the funds dispersed here this week, and still waiting on some more financial information for the second.
Which are they? Are you willing to say which one has been done?
The Good Neighbor Health Clinic is
Good Neighbor sent their W-9. Okay, thank you. Great. It's exciting to get that money out there.
Yeah, it's cool. They do good stuff.
Okay, thanks for a good report. All set?
Yes, all set.
Thank you. A lot of good stuff. Moving on to AP warrants. Any questions, or can we go ahead and move those?
I would just like to note, if I'm reading this correctly, that this last fiscal year, Chris got us about $1.1 million in FEMA grants.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
And they're all done.
You know, yeah, and I'm assuming they've all come in at this point. That's right.
Not all of it, but the bulk of it.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Chris. And his team. Like, I'm sure it's not just a single person, but thank you.
Britta's been very involved in that. Prior DPW assistants have worked on that project over the 3 years. So a great joint effort, and like you said, a wonderful way to leverage federal funding to improve Norwich.
Yep.
It's a sharp eye, Matt. I'm wondering, well, the other thing that's big is the pages I'm scrolling through here. I don't have a keen as eye as Matt to pick up on things like that, which was terrific. I completely agree. It's a wonderful thing. Is there any way we could get some high points on this? Like, this is so dense.
Yeah, it's a Nemrick thing. It's like grandma's attic.
Yeah, now, someone like Cheryl or Barry or Jonathan can just zing this in a heartbeat. Sign. I'm not like that. And this is a lot of money we got to sign off on. And I just kind of like to know, you know, sometimes it's easy, right? So Bethel Mills, Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's health insurance, that's easy. But what, you know, what are the high points? Like, what are we?
You can see it in the kind of the financial reports, like the over and under budget. You can kind of see it.
Yeah, the 105 or the 96.
Yeah, but then you gotta kind of like study that.
It's the general ledger.
Get back to the AP warrants, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Are you, so I'm just curious, you're not getting confused between the financial overviews and reports from design?
No, the warrants I'm thinking more about. That's,
Yeah, okay, good. Yes, the other has a lot of pages.
Oh, the other stuff's 33 pages, and it's like Mary said, it's got the 101 or the 96. So on target is great, right? So that's.
Any questions on the warrants?
I don't.
I would like to
move. I move to approve AP warrant number 1503 in the amount of $275.50 to be paid from the general fund. AP warrant number 1504 in the amount of $1,792.20 to be paid from the general fund. AP warrant number 1505 in the amount of $178,992.95 to be paid from the general fund, and AP warrant 1506 in the amount of $5,950 to be paid from the fire equipment fund number 26.
A second.
Comment?
Yeah, a discussion, comments, and I had one.
Go ahead, I'll wait.
The last one, check warrant report 1506, current prior FY invoices for fund, fire equipment fund, for check account, general. This is a reimbursement of the fire equipment fund, or is this a? It's for AEDs.
It's a purchase. It just comes out of that.
So it's not out of the general fund, it's out of Fund 26.
Right.
Yeah, hold on, let me just see this. It is out of fund number 26.
Okay, so that's
That's why it's
correctly.
its own warrant.
Yeah. It's all correct. I was trying to figure out what you were asking.
Yeah, okay. Cheryl, you had a question.
To my point, thank you, Cheryl Lindbergh, Treasurer. To my point, you can go back to notice that your first couple of warrants were paid already. So when your motion says to be paid, the first warrant was already paid on 6/5, 6/12, 6/22, 6/26 months ago. And your second warrant also has dates. So you are in arrears of approving payments that have already, been made.
It's weird.
So I just want to point that out.
Now, usually, Cheryl, when we've got that before, it has been stamped FYI, so we don't kind of confuse things.
Correct, but you've never seen these before. These are coming to you a month after they've been paid.
Right. These were like off-cycle pays, right? Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to.
So they're electronic payments that are being brought to you for approval through the process of either the state of Vermont pulling money for
The hunting
Paying
and
them.
fishing license.
Paying for the hunting and fishing licenses, correct. And then the other one is the HRA liability, which is a benefit to employees that gets paid when individuals submit. And that gets pulled from the specific bank account for the HRA amounts. So the third-party administrator is pulling those dollars from this bank account to reimburse employees for expenses they've paid that are eligible to be reimbursed through an health reimbursement account.
So is this a problem? Is this something to be fixed?
This is what this is what I'm bringing up
This
as,
isn't credit card.
this isn't the credit card one. These are related,
These are checks.
they're electronic transactions.
Yeah,
that are.
they're numbered as checks.
Yes, well, they're numbered as an electronic check. That's an electronic transaction number. Yeah, so again, work this through, but I, again, want you to be cognizant of what you're approving, right? So to be paid wouldn't quite be correct on those two.
Would it be inappropriate to acknowledge that it was paid?
Well, it's good to approve them.
Acknowledge that it was appropriately paid.
So I can say instead of to be, just paid.
They've been paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I may, I mean, this is the same process that we've used historically for these automatic withdrawals that are coming out of this account. I'm not sure that it requires rewording our language.
Well, I think in the future I can make it more accurate. It can't hurt. Yeah. So we have this was moved by Gear. Seconded by
Later.
No more discussion. Let's vote. Classy.
Aye.
Layton.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Sweat.
Yeah.
And Griggs the yes. Terrific. I have the warrants here. I'll pass them around. We have one more motion. Who'd like to make it?
Oh, we do have one more agenda item.
We do?
Discussion of the.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We
Discussing.
have receipt of correspondence as well.
Oh, that too, sorry.
Receipt of correspondence. Sorry about that. We still do have one more motion. No, we have two, maybe three. We received correspondence from Don McCabe registering concern that the lack of double lines on New Boston Road might be a safety hazard, requesting a plan for painting new lines and an estimate of when the work might be done. Co-signers of the letter included Jeremy and Alicia Yemen, Barry and Arlene Rotman, Patrick and Emily Bradley, Arthur Kahn, Bill and Heidi Lockwood, and Ed and Peg Marins. Response by our town manager is also included in the packet. Dylan Merchix, oh my gosh, Merchix McDonald wrote to the select board to flag a growing pattern of commercial advertising signs appearing along the roadsides in Norwich.
Did you forget the response by the town manager to the line striping?
He mentioned it.
Yes, I said the
Okay, thank
response
you.
is also included in the packet.
Okay, thank you.
So that's asking if the town consider directing the appropriate official to identify and remove signs where they don't belong. Chris Clement wrote a letter expressing concerns regarding the health and safety of BT building employees working at the transfer station, following up on her public comments at our July 8th meeting. Lisa McCabe and Carol Loveland wrote to us about water supply and potential improvements for purposes of watering the Triangle Garden. Ms. Loveland also wrote a letter with a request to be on the agenda today. Elizabeth Wilson copied the select board on a letter to the listers regarding a request to accept late grievance and review unequal 2026 assessment. Town Treasurer Lindberg wrote a memo on July 16th requesting that an item be added to the July 22nd agenda related to correcting the process for paying town credit card electronically. Tom Griggs wrote to inform us of his resignation from the Norwich Energy Committee. And Pam Smith wrote a letter describing the but-for test, applying it to select board events earlier in the year. Cheryl Lindberg wrote a follow-up letter supporting Pam's. Matt Sweat wrote a response to Cheryl Lindberg's letter. Harry Falconer included an accounting of the work that he and others at Twin Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Commission have been doing for the town of Norwich. End of correspondence.
Should I move to receive correspondence?
Yes, you should move to.
I move to receive correspondence.
Second.
Sorry about that. We have Sweat here. Clausen?
Aye.
Clayton?
Yep.
Here?
Yeah.
Sweat?
Yeah.
And Griggs, a yes. Discussion of select board agenda for 2 weeks from, is that 2 or whatever, the next
one,
August 12th. We did mention updated policy for select board.
August 5th.
The correspondence policy.
Correspondence, yeah.
Second
Wednesday, yeah. Was there anything else?
I had noticed that Brendan had sent a draft of a Public Records Act policy and also the VLCT version. So maybe we could have a first read of that, of his draft. A first read being, a review and what.
Have you read it?
I love it.
I did read it, yeah. I got questions, but. But I think that I think the way we've worked with policy in the past is to have at least a first read and then you think about and respond and change and, you sort of go through until it makes sense.
And the travel and expense too. Travel and expense.
Travel and expense
It's two on the
policy.
docket.
Oh, we could do some policies, right?
There you go.
Oh, policy meeting. Is there a peanut gallery
Carol's been
there?
hammering me for policy, so I'm just responding, right?
Sorry, could I ask, I think I had volunteered that I would be ready to come back at the first meeting in August about the expense reimbursement policy. Could we push that to the second meeting in August, please? I have some work to do on that, and I have some department heads that I know were interested in commenting, but I don't know if I've given our team enough time to properly review and respond.
Okay, about other policies. Okay.
Two policies in one meeting might be all we can handle.
It's going to be a lot anyway.
Let's focus on the PRA first read.
Yeah. And the correspondence policy shouldn't be very lengthy to amend.
I was poking around the select board website, ran across the select board vision and guiding principles that was written by, Mary was on the board then, I think it was John Pepper.
John Pepper came up with that,
And
yeah.
John Langus and probably Linda Cook was the chair at the time. And I would just like to talk about it for 5 minutes, because the more I read it, the more I loved it. And I think that it could kind of.
Right now? or-
No, on the 12th.
Okay.
And I'll send it out and put it in the packet. And it doesn't need a lot of time, but I think that it's, if we were to kind of take a fresh start going forward, I think it would be a good way to begin.
Perfect.
It used to be hanging over there.
Yeah.
A framed copy.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's like a mission statement, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that as I started reflecting on it a lot, I stumbled across it probably like 3 weeks ago and reflected on it a lot when we were talking about a lot of the Katuki case stuff. I found it helpful.
Okay, any other? I don't think we need a motion for this. Those are just sort of things.
Suggestions, yeah.
In the corral. Okay. Terrific. Now we could accept our final motion.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Okay, discussion, let's vote. Awesome.